Hello, this is a guy who likes fanfiction and is too lazy to read, so here is Attack on Prime in audio form. Check the description for the links to the author. Chapter 6, Before the Expedition Part 2. Train me, Eren demanded. Optimus sliced a tree in half before looking at Eren in confusion. Excuse me. I want you to train me, Eren repeated. Your fighting style is better than the people I know, especially after what I saw in the courtroom. If I can learn your fighting style, I can use that whenever I'm in my Titan form, and kill more Titans. I cannot do that, Eren, Optimus said. Eren looked in confusion before he became frustrated. Hey. Why? Because your race does not trust me, Optimus answered. What do you mean? Eren asked. We pose a threat to humanity, Optimus explained as he kneeled down to face him. The Survey Corps is still cautious of us while many want us dead. If I train you, that would arouse suspicion and your race will have more of the reason to kill us. Eren looked down in sadness. Oh, I see. I have no issue with training you, however, it is not my place to decide. I will ask to see if I am able to train you. If they say no, then there is nothing more than I can do. Optimus told him. Then there's a chance. Eren asked with a little hope. It's very slim, but possible, Optimus answered. Training? Erwin asked in surprise. Yes, Optimus answered while in his hollow form. Eren wishes to learn my fighting style, so that he may kill more Titans while in his Titan form without getting tired. It is not my place, Erwin answered. You are the commander of the Survey Corps. I do not understand how it is not your place. Optimus admitted. Before your trial, Eren was placed under the guardianship of someone else in the Survey Corps, Erwin explained. You will have to ask him. Who do I need to ask? Optimus asked. Captain Levi, Erwin answered. Optimus walked around the castle in his bipedal mode as he looked for Levi. After looking within the castle, Optimus decided to look for him outside in his actual form. After checking the interior area of the castle, he began to check the perimeter of the castle. Optimus then heard a wiping noise and turned a corner to see Levi wiping a window, using his 3D gear to stay in place. Levi, may I speak with you? Optimus asked. Levi sighed in irritation. What do you want? I'm busy. Optimus resisted the urge to deadpan. I've come to ask for your permission. Levi stopped wiping and looked at Optimus. Permission? Eren has requested for me to train him, Optimus explained. However, I came to ask for permission because I do not wish for any suspicion to grow about us plotting to destroy humanity. Levi Jews gave Optimus a blank look. I don't trust you. And that is why I am asking for your permission, Optimus retorted. I have no reason to attack your kind. I am merely trying to gain your trust. Levi sighed. All right, let's make a deal. A deal? Optimus asked in confusion. You're going to be helping us with Eren's experiments from what I've been hearing from Hanji, Levi began. If the experiment goes well and we find something new about the Titans, I'll let you train him. And if there is nothing new? Optimus asked. You help me clean the rest of the castle, Levi answered. Is that a deal? It is a deal, Optimus answered. Good, Levi said before he used his 3D gear to go around the castle. Optimus waited a couple of seconds before mentally yelling at himself for what he just did. Ready, Eren? Hanji asked from the top of the well. When it's prepared, I'll use the smoke round to notify you. After that, any decisions are up to you. Roger. Eren said from the bottom of the well. I do not understand how this will help, Optimus admitted as he looked at Hanji. The well is able to hold up even the most mindless Titans, Hanji explained. We'll be able to experiment without any problems. Optimus could have sworn he heard Hanji say probably before firing a green smoke round, signaling for the experiment to start. Levi looked back at Optimus before looking back at the well. The three waited for the well to be destroyed and for Eren's Titan form to appear, but nothing happened. Did he not see the signal? Hanji asked in confusion. No, Levi answered, his ability just isn't that reliable. Optimus walked over to the well and looked inside. Eren, are you all right? Did something happen? Hanji asked as she looked down as well. The two widened their eyes in shock while Levi kept a neutral expression. Eren looked up at them with a face full of horror as blood was coming from both his hands and mouth. I can't become a Titan, Eren said with dread. I can't believe Eren didn't transform, Hanji sighed with sadness as she inspected Optimus' foot. Ms. Zoe, Eren's power is new to him and he never knew he had this power in the first place. You must give it time. Optimus reassured. I am more concerned about the fact that Eren will not be able to train with me, Optimus thought, and that Levi will make me clean the rest of the castle. I still don't get why Eren didn't transform, Hanji remarked as she spun the wheel on Optimus' leg. Maybe there is another trigger, Optimus suggested. You thought it was self-injury, but apparently that is not entirely the case. But how are we going to find out what it is? Hanji asked. It merely takes time, Optimus answered. Ms. Zoe, I wish to inform you of something. It is when Eren transforms. Hanji looked up at Optimus in confusion. What happens? Lighting, Optimus answered. When Eren transforms, there is usually a streak of gold lighting that comes down. I thought it was responsible for causing damage within the wall, but when I saw it 2 more times I realized it had to deal with the transformation. So if a single streak of gold lighting comes down, someone has transformed into a Titan. Hanji asked. Yes, Optimus answered. At that moment, a streak of gold lighting came down followed by a thunderous sound. Optimus widened his optics before transforming into his alt mode and driving towards the source. Optimus, wait! Hanji called out as she ran after him. Optimus arrived at an open area and activated his hollow form. Optimus widened his eyes in shock as he saw Eren's hand in a half-formed Titan body. Levi's squad was surrounding Eren with their blades out, along with a strong intent to kill. Optimus heard cheering noise as he looked behind him to see Hanji jumping for joy as she ran towards Eren. Optimus followed the suite and ran towards the squad. What happened? Optimus asked. Eren transformed without permission, Eld answered without taking his eyes off of Eren. I told you I don't know what happened. Eren retorted. Eren, let me touch it. Can I touch it? Hanji asked while drool came from her mouth. Hanji! Optimus called out as Hanji touched the muscular hand. She backed away and as she got on her knees and screamed while raising her hands in the air. It's hot. She yelled, it's really hot without the skin. Optimus then noticed Eren's hand stuck in the muscle of the body. He climbed onto the half-formed Titan using the skeletal area. What are you doing? Eren asked as Optimus grabbed his arm. Pull, Optimus instructed. The two pulled together before Eren's hand came out of the muscle. The two stumbled off the body before landing roughly on the ground. Hanji began panicking as the body began disintegrating. No, wait. I still need to do dash. Hanji stopped as she noticed something in the Titan's hand. Was that a spoon? Eren sighed as he sat in a castle room with Levi. Until I saw that they were actually ready to kill me, I didn't understand, Eren began, that they doubted me so much. Of course they do, Levi said casually, that's why I choose them. Eren looked at him in surprise. People say you only become a full member of the Survey Corps after making it back alive from a mission, Levi explained, but whenever you fight the Titans, you never have enough information. There are too many situations you just can't anticipate, no matter what. They've had to cultivate the ability to take quick action and to make ruthless decisions by assuming the worst-case scenario, but that doesn't mean they've become heartless. It's not like they felt anything when they drew their swords. Captain Levi, squad leader Hanji wants to see you, a soldier informed. Levi simply looked as he saw his squad and Hanji walk into the room. Take a long crap. Actually it was pleasantly quick, Hanji admitted, I wasn't sure what to tell the brass. Well, for now, Hanji pulled out something wrapped in cloth and unraveled it to reveal a teaspoon. Look at this. A teaspoon? Eren asked in confusion. Yes, Hanji answered as she picked it up. The right hand of the Titan hand Eren created was holding this. It's hard to imagine that it was an accident. The heat and pressure didn't warp the spoon at all. Anything come to mind? I was trying to pick it up, Eren answered. It makes sense now, Hanji remarked. Kill the Titans, block the cannon shell, lift the boulder. In each case, you must have a strong will in order to transform. In other words, you didn't change on purpose, Gunther concluded. No, sir, Aaron answered. The four members looked at each other and nodded their heads before biting their hands. Hanji and Aaron looked in surprise and confusion while Levi kept a neutral expression. That hurt, Eld remarked. I'm amazed you could bite through, Aaron. We made the wrong decision, Gunther said. This is a small price to pay, not that it makes a difference. Keeping you under control is our job, Oluo told Aaron, and there's nothing wrong with that, so don't get cocky. We're sorry, Petra apologized, we were just so jumpy, but from now on we're going to rely on you and we want you to rely on us. So have faith in us. Aaron was silent as he stared at them before nodding his head in understanding. Levi then sighed to himself. Looks like I lost. Hanji looked at Levi in confusion. Lost what? Levi didn't say anything before walking out of the room without looking back. Everyone looked at the door before looking at each other. What was that about? Eld asked. Hey, Prime. Levi called out. Optimus looked down to see Levi crossing his arms. You win, go ahead and train the brat, Levi told him before walking away. Optimus raised an eyebrow in confusion. That was rather odd, but at least Aaron will be happy. He said yes. Aaron asked with excitement. Optimus nodded his head. I have been granted permission to train you. Yes. Aaron cheered. At least I will not be forced to clean the castle, Optimus thought. So when do we start? Aaron asked. Right now, Optimus answered. Really? Aaron asked in surprise. Optimus transformed into his alt mode before activating his hollow form. I see no issue. Ms. Zoe is currently busy and does not require us for experimentation. Aaron smiled. He was finally going to get stronger. He'll be able to kill all the Titans. Where do you wish to train? Optimus asked. There should be an open area, Aaron answered as he pointed in a direction with trees. Understood, Optimus said. Eld, Gunther, and Oluo lifted their heads from a bush as they saw Optimus and Aaron walking over to an open area surrounded by large trees. Why do we have to spy on the two? Gunther asked. Because Captain Levi doesn't trust Optimus, Eld answered. What about Aaron? It's just Optimus. Well then why are you here? Gunther demanded as he looked at Oluo. I want to see this guy in action, Oluo answered as he scowled, since he thinks he's so great. He killed over 100 Titans, a voice said. The three jumped as they looked behind them to see Mike looking at them with crossed arms. What are you doing? Mike demanded. Levi wanted us to spy, Eld answered. So Levi's actually letting Optimus train him, Mike remarked. Yeah, something about a deal, Gunther said. Mike sighed to himself. No wonder Levi was grumbling to himself about losing a bet. Mike slightly chuckled to himself. Now that he thought about it, it was hilarious. Optimus held the wooden dagger in his hand and observed it. This is what you use to train. Yes, Aaron answered. I find it rather strange that instead of using those long blades from your weaponry, you would use a small dagger, Optimus admitted. Well, a friend of mine told me that you're not always going to fight with the same weapon. You have to be resourceful. Aaron recalled. Your friend is very observant, Optimus said as he threw the dagger to Aaron. Aaron stumbled to catch it before looking at Optimus in confusion. Wait, what are you doing? I want you to fight me, Optimus answered. Aaron stared at Optimus dumbfounded. There was silence between as he heard birds chirping and flying above them. I want you to fight me, Optimus restated. There was another moment of silence between the two before Aaron turned away and covered his mouth as his face was filled with dread. Optimus raised an eyebrow in confusion, followed by Eld, Gunther, and Oluo. What's the kid so worked up about? Oluo asked. Besides the fact that he killed over 100 Titans, he disarmed 3 military police officers without any weapons, Mike answered as he leaned against the tree. He could have also killed them. This is about what you saw in the courtroom, Optimus realized. Aaron nodded his head. He wasn't going to lie. When Optimus took out those soldiers, it terrified him. The way he fought, it was better than what he's seen at all. Optimus was practically a one-man army. Aaron, I understand that you are scared of me and that you are afraid to fight me, but I think that it is better to learn right now and fail than to be killed on the battlefield, Optimus explained. Eren looked at Optimus in confusion as he took his hand off of his mouth. We fight Titans. We know what to accept with a normal one. I am speaking of in general, Optimus corrected, you have never been at war with your own kind. You are trained to be prepared for battle. I, however, was forced to adapt to the battlefield. And war is a brutal place that will not show mercy. It is better to learn from your mistakes right now, than for you to make the wrong move. Eren looked at him before nodding his head in understanding. Are you ready then? Optimus asked. Yes, Eren answered as he got into his regular fighting stance. Let us begin, Optimus declared as he got into a fighting stance of his own. Eren looked in slight confusion. His stance was somewhat similar to Annie. The only difference was that Optimus' legs were spread out more. Eren brushed that aside and let out a battle cry as he attacked him. Eren gasped as he felt the dagger being taken from him as he was elbowed in the chest. Eren grunted as he skidded across the floor on his back. Eren sat up to see Optimus in a different stance. His left hand was in front of him while his right hand was behind him, holding the dagger. However, his legs were still in the same position. Eld, Gunther, and Oluo widened their eyes while Mike kept a neutral expression. Optimus' hand relaxed and fell to his side before he threw the dagger back to Eren. Eren grabbed the dagger before getting up and charging once again. Eren slashed at Optimus' face, but Optimus dodged it at the last second before tripping Eren. Eren yelped before his back made contact with the ground. He then widened his eyes as he saw the dagger in Optimus' hand again. How Optimus was able to get the dagger was beyond him. Eren tried to kick Optimus, but Optimus jumped backwards and skidded to a stop. Eren got up and tried to punch Optimus, but Optimus dodged the attack. Eren widened his eyes in shock as Optimus quickly moved behind him and flipped the dagger so that the hilt was facing him. Eren felt a shock go through the back of his head as the hilt of the dagger made contact with it. Eren fell forward onto his face while Optimus got into another fighting stance. His arm was covering his mouth while the tip of the dagger was pointing at his opponent. His other arm was just below his right, blocking his chest area. Eren growled to himself as he slowly got up and rubbed the back of his head. He looked back at Optimus as his anger continued to boil. How? How was he so damn calm? How was he able to stop him so easily? Eren forced himself onto his feet before charging at Optimus. Optimus took a deep breath before spreading his feet out a little. Optimus focused his eyes on Eren's chest. He was leaving his chest wide open. Eren widened his eyes as Optimus moved towards him. Eren tried to punch him, but Optimus ducked before pointing the dagger merely inches away from his chest, right where his heart was. Eren widened his eyes in shock and horror before slowly looking down at the position he was in. That attack was so simple. How was he able to do that? Eld and Gunther's mouths dropped while Oluo's feet began trembling. Well, he has a right to be cocky, Eld remarked, along with Gunther and Oluo nodding their heads in agreement. Mike raised an eyebrow as he noticed the look in Optimus' eyes. They were never there before when he was talking with Other or when the Survey Corps first met him. The only time he saw that look was when Optimus was fighting the 3 military policemen. Those eyes were focused, concentrated, but also had a killer intent. Those eyes, those were the eyes of a killer. Eren collapsed onto the ground while panting heavily and clutching his chest. Optimus stood up fully before wiping his hands. Your offense and defense both need work, Optimus explained. You're not on constant guard and you let your emotions take control of yourself fairly easily. Your punches are not focused and rather weak. Even if you were to kill Titans in your Titan form, the Titans would simply devour you like they have done before. Eren panted, I was told that you were able to restrain me in my Titan form. That is correct, Optimus said. You could have killed me then, right? Yes. Why didn't you? Even though I killed before, I am not fond of taking an innocent life, or the life of a human, Optimus answered. How many? Eren began. Optimus looked at Eren in confusion. You are going to have to clarify. How many people have you killed? Eren asked hesitantly. Eren saw Optimus look away as he noticed an upsetting look in his eyes. Eren slightly widened his eyes. Did he really kill more than just 100 titans? I don't know, Optimus answered. What does he mean by he doesn't know? Oluo demanded. What do you mean by that? Eren asked. Eren, Cybertronian life cycles are longer than that of a human. I have been around longer than your race has. I have been at war for eons. Optimus looked at his hands. I do not know how much energon has stained my hands, nor do I wish to. I'm sorry, Eren apologized as he looked away. Optimus kneeled down before holding out his hand. Eren noticed a gentle look in his eyes before taking his hand. Optimus pulled Eren to his feet before handing him the dagger. It is not your fault, Optimus said, now we will start by working on your stance. My stance? Eren questioned. Yes, Optimus answered, your stance is not that strong. That is why I was able to knock you off of your feet very easily. You must get into a strong stance like this. Optimus demonstrated by spreading his legs apart and using his arms to block his chest. It was a simple stance that Optimus remembered Bumblebee using. He wasn't exactly comfortable with it, but Optimus didn't have any weapons on him. If he did, his stance would have been pretty different. Like this? Eren asked as he mimicked Optimus. Optimus nodded his head. Then without warning, Optimus raised his leg and kicked Eren. Eren widened his eyes as he raised his arms and braced for the impact, but was confused as he only felt pain in his arm. Eren looked over to see he had blocked Optimus' kick with his arm. Do you notice a difference? Optimus asked as he lowered his foot. Yeah, Eren answered as he rubbed his arm, but how come you had a different stance when we fought? When I hold a weapon I usually have a different stance, Optimus explained. That was just a simple boxing stance. You have a fighting style similar to someone that I know, Eren remarked. Similar? Optimus asked. Yeah, Eren answered, her name is Annie. Her fighting style isn't as great as yours, but she can flip someone twice her size on their back. But how do you know some of this place's fighting style? The other planet I came across before this had advanced fighting style similar to my race. My race has its own fighting style, but I believe that when your race was forced into these walls they were unable to save their documents, history, or fighting style. Optimus explained. You mean the world where the humans are free? Eren asked. Yes, Optimus answered. Wait, there's a world where humans are free? Eld asked in shock. Did he ever mention that? Gunther asked. I did not mention that, Optimus answered without looking behind him. The three jumped while Mike slightly flinched. Eren looked at Optimus in confusion before looking before him to see the four coming out from their hiding spot. What are you guys doing here? Eren asked in confusion. Captain Levi sent you, Optimus answered. Mainly these two, Oluo said as he pointed to Eld on Gunther. Why didn't you say anything about that before? Mike demanded. I felt as though it would be unwise, Optimus answered as he turned to them. If I had mentioned that in the courtroom, it may have caused uneasiness. I also thought that it was unnecessary, because I have already made it clear that I have not been to this world. If it has caused suspicion with you four, then I apologize for the inconvenience. The members of Levi's squad looked at each other before smiling at Optimus. Geez, you don't have bad bone in your body, Oluo remarked. So far, all you've done help humanity and haven't done anything wrong, Gunther said. You've pretty much proven you're an ally. Thank you, Optimus said as he slightly bowed. Mike didn't say anything as he turned around and walked away. I assume that Levi would want you three to keep watch as I train Eren, Optimus assumed. Yes, Eld said, we'll stay out of the way so you two have more room. The three walked over next to a tree and sat down before Optimus looked over at Eren. We will resume training, Optimus told him. We will practice with your stance and defense while we figure out its flaws. Eren nodded his head with determination as he got into the stance Optimus showed him. He gripped the dagger before letting out a battle cry and charging at Optimus. Eren lied down on the ground and looked up at orange sky. He panted heavily as he felt his muscles ache all over. I believe that we are down for the day, Optimus proclaimed. Eren turned his head over to see Optimus kneeling down next to him while holding the dagger in his hand. Eren growled as he tried to grab the dagger, but winced as he felt his muscles ache even further. "Stop trying, kid," Oluo advised as he walked over to Eren, "you're practically useless right now." Eren winced as he slowly forced himself up. Optimus sighed before putting the dagger down and putting Eren's arms over his shoulders. Eren widened his eyes as he felt himself being lifted up off the ground. He slightly flushed with embarrassment as he realized Optimus was carrying him on his back. "I will take Eren back to the castle, if it is alright with you three," Optimus informed. "It's okay. We have to go plan for the expedition anyway," Eld said. Optimus nodded his head in understanding before adjusting Eren on his shoulders and walking towards the castle. Optimus heard Eren sigh in slight irritation as he felt him adjust his head on his shoulder. "My body hurts like hell," Eren remarked. "It will usually hurt the first time around, but your body will get used to it in due time," Optimus explained. "I don't know if I can handle any more," Eren slightly whined. "You are growing in strength like you wanted to," Optimus reminded. "Yeah," Eren smiled before it disappeared, "you know something." Optimus looked at him with curiosity as the castle came into view. "I'm actually jealous of you," Eren admitted. Optimus looked at him with surprise before chuckling, causing Eren to look at him in surprise. "You're chuckling," Eren said as he lifted his head from his shoulder, "you don't dash." "Eren, I am usually trained to keep my emotions in check," Optimus explained as he gave Eren a warm smile. "I usually show my emotions to people whom I trust, but in all honesty, you did catch me by surprise. I am a being stranded on another world. Why would you be jealous of me?" Eren rested his head on Optimus' shoulder, "Because you're free." Optimus looked at Eren with wide eyes. "Even though you can't go back, you have a world that you can call home. You've been to a world where humans are free." Eren looked up at the setting sun. "You've even seen what's beyond those worlds and can easily leave these walls without any form of fear for your life. I thought you would try to find a way to go back to your home, but you're willing to waste your time on a weak and spineless species like us." Optimus was silent for a moment as the two arrived at the castle doors. "You're not weak." Eren widened his eyes in shock as Optimus carefully opened the door and walked inside. "I have seen great courage with your race. You all have the power to choose, and I applaud you because you would choose to fight in your dire situation. Even though I do not prefer the methods, I have great respect for the Survey Corps because they are willing to risk their lives for humanity to survive. And even if I do find a way back to my home, which is impossible, I would still do everything in my power to help humanity." Eren just looked at him while adjusting his head on Optimus' shoulder. Optimus really didn't have a bad bone in his body. "But how come you can't go back home?" Eren asked. "There are multiple reasons. For one, I do not know where this planet is located, nor do I have the tools to contact my comrades," Optimus explained. "I have completed my task of protecting my planet, however, I am not sure if it is wise for me to return." Eren looked in confusion. "Why? They're your comrades. Why wouldn't you want to go back?" "We are here," Optimus said as he arrived at Eren's door. "But..." Eren trailed off as Optimus carefully set him on the ground. "Eren, discussing about my past is a rather sensitive topic," Optimus explained, "but the reason why I do not think it is wise to return is because my comrades believe that I am dead. Even if I were to return, they would believe that I am a fake." "They think you're dead?" Eren widened his eyes in shock. "How?" "It is a rather complicated story," Optimus answered. "I explain to you whenever I get the chance, along with the outside world. For now I must take my leave of you." Eren nodded his head in sadness before Optimus walked away and disappeared into sparks. Eren sighed as he walked into his room and took off his jacket, wincing in pain. He looked down in sadness. Optimus really didn't have anywhere to go. He was stranded on another world while everyone he knew believed he was dead, yet he was willingly throwing his own issues aside just to help humanity. Eren never knew that someone could be that selfless. One question was running through his mind, however: how much was Optimus truly suffering? "They must have really hated Titans," Connie remarked, causing Armin to look at him. The military police was checking the trainees to see if they could discover who the culprit was in the death of the two Titans. For some reason, they thought it was the trainee corps, causing some complaints. "Yeah, but they ended up helping the Titans instead of humanity," Armin retorted, it was a really big blow to humanity. I guess I could understand what the person was doing, because I'm an idiot, Connie admitted. I really was planning to join to Survey Corps, but after that day, I never want to see their hideous faces again. And today we have to decide which group we're joining. Connie looked over at Jean, who kept a neutral expression, but had his hand clenched into a fist. Even Jean's serious, Connie thought. For the past 5 years, Jean was acting so arrogant and prideful about joining the military police. Now he wants to join the Survey Corps instead. Wouldn't he want to join the military police even more after what he saw? But it also made Connie feel guilty. Even after what Jean saw, he was going to do the same daring move again. It made him feel like a fucking coward. Damn it, Connie muttered, what do you think, Armin? Jean said he's joining the Survey Corps. Jean said that. Armin asked in surprise. Nothing in particular, Annie answered. You said that you were going to join the military police, Connie remembered, maybe I should too. If someone told you to die, would you? Annie asked. Of course not, Connie answered, rather confused and surprised by her question. Then why don't you make your own choice, Annie suggested. What about you, Armin? Armin trailed off, if the situation requires me to lay down my life, not that I want to. Then you've made your choice, Annie proclaimed, you're weak, but you have guts. Thank you, Armin said, unsure if he was supposed to take that as an insult or a compliment. You seem to be awfully nice today. Annie looked at Armin, slightly caught off guard. It's almost as if you don't want me to join the Survey Corps. Armin remarked, any reason why? You're joining the military police. Not much, Annie answered, it's just that I want to survive. So you weren't equipped with weapons before? Hanji asked as she inspected Optimus' weapons with gloves. Not before the war, Optimus explained. When the war started and I joined the Autobots, I had to equip myself with weapons in order to fight and defend. You said that energon powers your guns, so wouldn't that take a toll on you because your food source is used in your weapons? Hanji asked. I can last without energon for a while, Optimus explained. However, when I first arrived here, I had to be careful with how I used my blasters since I did not know how much energon I had in my systems. How fast can the ammo go? Hanji asked with curiosity, can you show me? Optimus quietly sighed before aiming his gun into the air. He charged the blaster and fired, causing a blue light to shoot into the sky and into the unknown. Awesome. Hanji smiled. Optimus, I wish to speak with you, a voice said. Optimus and Hanji looked over to see Erwin walking towards them. Commander, Optimus greeted as he transformed his blasters into hands. He really did not want to speak with him. Hanji, I need to speak with Optimus, Erwin told Hanji. I'm experimenting, Hanji retorted. It's important, Erwin informed. Hanji sighed. Fine, but you owe me for this. Hanji waved goodbye to Optimus before walking away, leaving Optimus and Erwin alone. What do you wish to discuss with me? Optimus asked. I want you to attend the coronation of the cadets. They're deciding which military branch to join, Erwin explained. Knowing your ambiguous personality, you want me to do something different, Optimus assumed. Yes, I need you to find someone of interest of being the spy, Erwin explained. Without any proof for your claim still? Optimus asked. I've said before I'm willing to take the gamble, but I need as much help as I can in order to win that gamble, Erwin proclaimed. Optimus just looked at him. He really didn't like the methods he was using in order to achieve his goal. He couldn't do anything to change his methods, because he had no authority and the government wouldn't allow him to. It also would have benefited him if he had more advanced technology, but this world was too primitive to make devices like tracking technology. He had no choice but to comply. I will go, Optimus said. He then transformed into his alt mode before activating his hollow form and looking at Erwin. Do you think you can change what you're wearing? Erwin asked, causing Optimus to look at him in confusion. Your clothing stands out, Erwin explained. If you could change into something our race has, then there won't be much suspicion. Optimus nodded his head in understanding before his clothing began to shift. Erwin slightly widened his eyes as the clothing changed into the Survey Corps uniform. Is this more appropriate? Optimus asked. Yes, Erwin answered, let's go. Armin, Sasha, Connie, and Annie were leaning against the wall, waiting for the ceremony to start. Armin and Connie looked over at Sasha, who was constantly scanning the area. Connie could have even sworn that she was growling. Sasha, are you okay? Armin asked. Fine, Sasha answered rather rudely, not even looking at Armin. Armin looked at her in confusion while Connie squeaked in surprise. Was she okay? Armin heard footsteps as he turned to see Jean walking towards them. Jean, are you really planning to join the Survey Corps? Armin asked. Yeah, Jean answered. Aren't you scared, man? Connie asked, this is the Survey Corps, why do you want to join now? Of course I don't want to join the Survey Corps, Jean blatantly stated, causing Connie to look at him in confusion. Then why? Connie asked. I'm not saying Titans don't scare me anymore, or that Best should join the Survey Corps, Jean explained, I'm not eager to die like some. You mean Eren? Connie realized, he joined the Survey Corps along with that Prime guy. Armin noticed Sasha twitching at the name. Trainees, line up at the stage. An authority announced, the ceremony is about to start. I don't want to die or throw my life away needlessly, but I have to do something in order to make a change, or else no one else will. Jean proclaimed before walking away. Armin felt a hand on his shoulder and looked over to see Sasha giving a deleterious look. He's here, Sasha proclaimed, Armin, he's here. Sasha, what are you talking about? Armin asked. Sasha pointed past Armin, causing Armin to look over and widen his eyes in shock. Armin saw the back of Optimus Alt Mode while the remainder was hiding behind a brick wall. Optimus Alt Mode moved once again behind the brick wall, completely hidden from view. What's he doing here? Armin thought. Optimus hollow form hid behind a brick wall on the stage while observing the sight before him. Erwin was standing alone on the stage while he faced the remainder of the trainee corps. How will he find anyone of suspicion in a place like this? Optimus thought. I am Erwin Smith, commander of the Survey Corps, Erwin introduced. Today you will join a military branch. In short, I am here to persuade you to join the Survey Corps. After the Battle of Trost, you've seen how terrifying Titans can be and how limited your power is, but that battle has led us closer to humanity's victory, through Eren Yeager and Optimus Prime's existence. Optimus widened his eyes in shock. What does he think he's doing? They have both proven to be friends to humanity. And not have we found ways in advancing our weaponry and stop the Titans' advances, but we also have a way of discovering their true nature. In Eren's basement in the Higashina district lies the secret to the Titans. What in Primus' name is he doing? Optimus thought. He can't just go and publicize this information. It could make the spy come after Eren even more. Optimus raised an eyebrow in curiosity as he noticed someone's eyes gleam with interest for a brief moment before returning to a neutral expression. Perhaps he wanted to lure the spy in. That still requires us to retake Wall Maria, so our objective hasn't changed. But with the Trost Gate sealed, we will have to make our way to Wall Maria through the Karen's district. The trail made for a large army has gone to waste. 60% lost their lives in the last 4 years, an insane figure. We are planning an expedition for the next month, and we are estimating that 30% will not return. 60% will be gone in the next 4 years, but even with those distressing facts, are you willing to give your hearts up for the survival of humanity? Optimus kept a blank expression. Erwin wasn't entirely mad. He was warning them that if you took the path of the Survey Corps that you will die, but that if they had the courage, they would end up helping humanity thrive. For those who are not willing to do so, may leave, Erwin finished. One by one, the soldiers began to leave. Optimus saw them leaving in crowds, but noticed that some of them were not moving. He could see it on their faces, they were debating whether or not they should stay or go. Then only ones that were left were about 10 or so soldiers. He recognized Armin and Mikasa, but the rest were unfamiliar to him. If someone ordered you to die, would you? Erwin asked. No, I wouldn't. A soldier answered. I see. I like the looks on your faces. Then I welcome everyone here to the Survey Corps. This is a true salute. Erwin proclaimed as he saluted them. Everyone followed the suite and saluted Erwin. He noticed some of them had terrified looks on their faces while others were crying. You all came here and faced your fear. You have my heartfelt respect, Erwin said. Optimus just looked at them one more time before dispersing into sparks. I called you four here to discuss what will happen during the 57th expedition, Erwin explained. Question, Hanji began, why is Optimus here? Levi and Mike looked over to see Hanji casually pointing at Optimus' hollow form. Optimus was able to answer the question, Erwin simply answered. Hanji thought it over before shrugging casually. So what's going to happen? Levi asked with apathy. The goal is to capture the spy during this mission, Erwin explained as he unrolled a map of Wall Maria. We will lead the spy here. Erwin pointed to a cluster of trees, causing Optimus to look in slight confusion while the three widened their eyes. The forest of giant trees. Mike asked. Oi, Erwin, that place is crawling with titans, Levi reminded. It's also the place that has the most cover, Erwin retorted. It would be too obvious if the trap was in an open area. A trap? Optimus asked. Yes, Erwin answered, we've made the assumption that the spy is a titan shifter, so we need enough time to set up the trap, and that is what the cover is for. Mike and Hanji will set up the trap. Hanji smirked. This trap is going to be perfect. Levi, you and your squad along with Eren will be placed in the safest place of the formation. You will ride into the forest towards the trap, causing the spy to go after Eren. When the spy reaches you and you are near the trap, fire a smoke flare so we will be prepared to catch the spy. Okay, Levi said causally. Optimus, the spy's goal seems to be Eren, but he or she will stay away from you, Erwin began. Why would the spy stay away from Optimus? Hanji asked. Because I am more powerful than the spy, Optimus answered. The only one who has a chance of standing against him is the armored titan, but it hasn't been seen in 5 years. If anything goes wrong, Optimus, you need to engage the spy and detain him or her. Erwin told him. Understood, Optimus said. Is there anything else? Mike asked. Yes, Erwin answered, Eren's location must not be told. We don't know if the spy is within our ranks, especially with the new recruits. So how you gonna fool him? Hanji asked. I will give a sheet of paper that has Eren in a different location in the formation. Each paper will have a different location. This will also give us more time to set up the trap, Erwin explained. Once the Titan is captured, we will interrogate it by any means necessary. Optimus, we will need your technological experience. Work with Hanji on new devices. Sure, that's a great idea. Levi asked. Levi, we don't have much time until the mission, Erwin retorted. I will do it, Optimus said. Hanji smiled. Yes. Great, Levi groaned. The mission starts in 3 weeks. Make sure to be prepared, Erwin advised. Armin yawned as he quietly walked around the castle. Somehow Armin woke up in the middle of the night, even though he was tired before he went to bed. So he decided to look around the castle. In all honesty, he was quite surprised when most of the Survey Corps could fit into the castle. Maybe he's just not used to living in large houses since he's been living in small ones his whole life. He walked near a door and looked in slight confusion as he noticed a light emitting from the room. He peeked inside and widened his eyes to see books stacked onto desks and someone flipping through the pages of a book. Armin slowly opened the door to reveal Optimus quietly reading a book. He also noticed another stack of books on the other side of him. Optimus, Armin said. Optimus stopping reading and looked up to see Armin. I see you are doing well, Armin. What are you doing here? Armin asked. I do not know much about this world, so I was given permission to read your books. However, I was not given enough time during the day. That is why I am here right now, Optimus explained. Shouldn't you be asleep? I couldn't, Armin sighed in embarrassment. I haven't seen Eren around. Is he alright? He is alright, Optimus answered. Since Eren is under Levi's guardianship, he must keep a close eye on him. Optimus noticed Armin sighing with relief. Do you have any relationship to Eren? Optimus asked. Yeah, we were friends since we were kids, Armin answered. I see, Optimus said. Optimus, were you at the ceremony by any chance? Armin asked as he grabbed a chair and sat down. Yes, I had to keep myself hidden so there wouldn't be any form of chaos, Optimus explained. But why were you there in the first place? Armin asked. It was for military purposes, Optimus simply answered. Optimus knew that Erwin didn't want anyone to know about the plan, so he knew he had to keep any questions about it short and simple. Armin didn't say anything as he took one of the books from the stacks and began flipping through the pages. Armin looked in confusion as he realized the information in the book was about the Titans. He even saw a picture of a Titan regenerating its head. These are about the Titans, Armin observed. I am simply looking for any more information about the Titans, Optimus explained. I was only briefed about its history by Commander Erwin, and you were the one who told me how to kill them. I have said I do not know much about this world, so I felt research would be beneficial for me. Learning about the Titans' origins and their weaknesses would prove to be beneficial when attacking with my blades. I do not wish to waste any more energon. Does the energon have a blue color? Armin asked. Yes, Optimus answered. Does it have anything to do with the blue smoke from earlier? Armin asked. There was silence in the room as Armin noticed a rather choleric expression on his face. Optimus took a deep breath before putting a hand on his head. I do not wish to discuss the topic, Optimus answered. Sorry, Armin apologized. Optimus really didn't want to discuss what happened in the afternoon. After Erwin decided to let him and Hanji create new weapons, Hanji decided to tamper with Energon since it was toxic to Titans. Unfortunately, after Optimus' warnings about Energon being toxic, flammable, and explosive, she ignited the Energon with a fragging flame torch. Optimus had to throw it in the air and shoot it before it hit the ground, causing the blue smoke that Armin was referring to. This resulted in Hanji being out of commission for the rest of the day by a certain captain. Optimus was starting to have a very big feeling on where Eren got the bruises from when in the courtroom. The two suddenly heard footsteps and looked over at the door to see Jean standing there. Armin, what are you doing here? He asked as he walked into the room. I couldn't sleep, Armin answered. What about you? I heard people talking after I went to get water, Jean explained before looking at Optimus. Who's this? Optimus studied the boy quietly. He could have sworn he's seen him before. Didn't he ask for his name? Optimus suddenly remembered, he was one of the trainees that fought in Trost. He remembered telling him to go to their headquarters and when he was yelling at another fellow trainee when he took 6 of them to the wall. He was pretty sure it was something about a nice view on his shoulders. Jean, if I am correct, Optimus said. Jean looked at Optimus with wide eyes before taking a step back. We've never met before, how the hell do you know my name? Jean demanded. Jean, that's Optimus Prime, the Metal Titan, Armin whispered. Huh? Jean questioned, how are you the Metal Titan? People still call me that, Optimus thought. Optimus raised his lower arm before it began to shift. The arm became a blur before it changed into the hand of his bipedal mode. Optimus moved the head around as Jean's mouth dropped. This is a hollow form or a fake imagery, Optimus explained, as the hand changed back. I am just using it for research right now. Optimus looked in slight surprise while Armin was trying to keep his composure as Jean bowed. I'm sorry, Jean apologized, this wasn't how I wanted to thank you. Armin exclaimed. Thank me? Optimus asked. Yeah, Jean answered as he stood up fully, you saved Trost and many lives, along with the rest of humanity. If Walrose fell, humanity would have been extinct. Thank you. Armin couldn't believe it. Not only did Jean join the Survey Corps, but he properly thanked someone without any other intentions. Armin looked over at Optimus and widened his eyes as he saw a small smile grace his lips. You're welcome, Jean, Optimus said. Optimus felt kind of happy right now. Of course he wasn't expecting one and never asked, but it made him feel better. The only thing he got ever since he arrived here was constant hostility and distrust, along with constant annoyance. The only other person who ever thanked him was Eren. So, Optimus, you said that you were from another world, Armin began. You're from another world? Jean asked. Yes, Optimus answered as he grabbed another book. I explained a little about, but you were not there in the courtroom. What was your world like? Armin asked as Jean grabbed a chair and sat down, wanting to hear the information as well. My world is called Cybertron, Optimus explained. It is not located in a solar system, but it is near its own sun. Cybertron is entirely made of metal and has 3 moons. Moons? Armin questioned. A moon is known to be a natural satellite to a world, Optimus explained. It's responsible for gravitational pull on the planet and for lighting up the night sky. Is that what the thing up in the sky of our world is? Jean asked. Optimus nodded his head. What was being on the planet like? Armin asked. Majority of the planet was architectural, Optimus explained. There are many buildings and skyscrapers which are taller than your walls. Since we have created more lights, Cybertron illuminates during the night. As beautiful as that is, I would usually prefer looking up at the starry night sky. Armin looked at Optimus as he noticed the emotions flowing through his eyes. He could see wonder and a form of happiness in them, but he also saw sadness. Optimus-san, can you go back to Cybertron? Armin asked hesitantly. Optimus stopped speaking before looking away from the two. I cannot. I'm sorry, Armin apologized. You probably don't like talking about it. It is all right, you did not know, Optimus reassured. Optimus, where did you learn how to fight like that in Trost? Jean asked, realizing he needed to change the topic. I was fighting in a war for my home, Optimus answered. I had no personal training, so I was forced to adapt to the battlefield. And you're that good? Jean asked in surprise. My life cycle is longer than that of a human, so I have had experience, Optimus answered. Did you ever have a ranking on the side you were on? Armin asked. I was the leader of the Autobots, Optimus answered. Leader? Jean asked in shock. You mentioned that in the courtroom, Armin recalled. Is that how you knew what to do in Trost? Jean asked. Armin looked in confusion while Optimus kept a black expression. He must be referring to that incident, Optimus thought. He remembered when he and a group of trainees were heading to their HQ when one of them ran out of gas. He saved him and a few others who tried to save him. But Jean probably felt so powerless to save his comrades. I do not like bloodshed or the loss of an innocent life. I was mainly focused on saving as many as I could, Optimus answered. You said you never knew how to fight before the war. What were you before then? Armin asked. I was an archivist in the Iacon Hall of Records. Optimus answered. Optimus realized the confused expression on their faces and began to think it over. He remembered Agent Fowler using a term for him when he regained his memories and was informed about what happened during his absence. I was a historian or librarian if you will, Optimus said. A librarian. Jean squawked. Does that surprise you? Optimus asked. Yeah, it was just something I didn't expect, Jean explained. Not everyone is destined for a normal life, Optimus retorted. I was an archivist in the Iacon Hall of Records known as Orion Pax. Isn't Optimus your real name? Armin asked in confusion. Orion Pax was my former name, Optimus explained. Optimus Prime was the name I took after I was granted the title of Prime. Jean raised an eyebrow in confusion. Prime is a title? Optimus nodded his head. On Cybertron, the title of Prime is not granted, it must be earned. Also, when given, the title of Prime must be worthy of the Matrix of Leadership. Matrix of Leadership? Armin questioned. It is a vessel of pure energy and the collective wisdom of the Primes before me, Optimus explained. It is within my chest in my bipedal mode. Did you ever think that you were worthy of the title? Jean asked. I never believed that I was worthy of the title, Optimus admitted. Many believed that I was worthy of the title. Jean slightly widened his eyes. Optimus never believed he was worthy of being leader. Optimus knew what to do during Trost, while he just stood idly by. He felt ashamed. So who were you fighting against during your war? Armin asked. I led the Autobots in a fight against the Decepticons, Optimus explained as he grabbed a book and began to read it. The Decepticons are ruthless and deceptive, who sought to rule and oppress. They did anything to get what they want. I saw many Cybertronians who were close went to different sides for what they believed. They were all forced to fight and kill each other. Were you forced to fight anyone you were close to? Armin asked. I was forced to fight close friends, Optimus answered briefly. Armin raised an eyebrow in suspicion. Optimus was answering these questions rather quickly. Almost as if he was trying to avoid a topic. Now that he thought about it, Optimus didn't say anything about the Decepticons until he asked. Matter of fact, he didn't mention anything about the leader. He decided to risk it. Optimus, you said you were the leader of the Autobots, so who was the leader of the Decepticons? Armin asked. Optimus stopped at the progress of flipping a page, causing Jean to look in confusion. Armin noticed a very deleterious look in his eyes. They looked conflicted, angry, but also sad. Armin widened his eyes as he realized what he just did. He hit a nerve point. I do not wish to discuss about that, Optimus said as he closed the book. But, Armin pressed, why? He is just someone I do not wish to speak of, Optimus answered. He? Jean questioned. Optimus sighed quietly. He really was trying to avoid anything about Megaton, but he felt as though he pushed any further it may cause distrust, and he didn't want that. If I am to tell you, you must not speak of this to anyone, Optimus told them. Armin and Jean looked at each other before looking back at Optimus. All the Titans from the gate have been removed from the gate. 30 seconds until the gate opens. Optimus heard a soldier yell. Optimus could feel majority of the humans' eyes on him, but he didn't mind. He was more focused on the expedition at hand. This is it, Optimus told himself. He needed to stop the spy and prevent as many casualties as he could. Open the gate. A soldier yelled. Optimus turned his side view mirror as he watched the gate rise, revealing the land of Wall Maria. Advanced. Erwin commanded. The horses rode through the gate while Optimus drove behind them. The 57th expedition beyond the wall has just begun. Erwin yelled, onward. Chapter 7, The Female Titan Part 1. The Survey Corps continued to ride out of the gate through Wall Maria with Optimus right behind them. He suddenly heard rumbling as he turned his side view mirror to see a rather large Titan heading towards them. Ahead, to the left, a 10-meter class. Hanji shouted. Optimus transformed into his bipedal mode and transformed his hand into a blade before decapitating the Titan, cutting off the nape of the neck in the process. Hanji smiled. Looks like we're not having many casualties today. Supply team, collect the remains. Got it. A soldier said as he and a few others rode over to the body. I will go and protect the formation, Optimus informed before he transformed and drove off. Whoa, Sasha breathed as she watched the Titan fall. She might actually get out of this alive. Pay attention. A superior instructed as he turned her head forward. Eren looked at his friends and fellow comrades as they paid attention to the fields ahead of them. He looked back to see Optimus transform into his alt mode. Sir Oluo, can my friends really defeat the Titans? Eren asked with worry. Huh? Oluo questioned, what have you been doing for the past month? Listen, brat, the most crucial part in the expedition is to avoid fighting Tit Dash. Oluo cut himself off as he accidentally bit his tongue. Eren didn't say anything as he looked forward, not even asking if Oluo was alright. He took a deep breath trying to calm his nerves. He hoped that this mission would be a success. With him and Optimus on the Scouting Legion's side, they had a chance of making it out of Wall Maria alive. He hoped that whatever Optimus taught him would come to good use, if the situation led him to use his Titan form. He hoped he was ready. Go into the long-range scouting formation. Erwin instructed. See ya, Armin, Reiner said before falling behind. Don't piss your pants if a Titan come and tries to kill you, Jean advised before falling behind as well. You too, Armin said. Armin looked in confusion as Optimus was driving behind the scouting formation. What was he doing? Optimus, Erwin began as he pulled out the scouting formation and laid it out on the ground. I want to discuss with you about your position in the scouting formation. Optimus looked at Erwin in his bipedal mode before transforming into his bipedal mode and activating his hollow form. Why do you wish to discuss that? Optimus asked. Hanji put in a theory that even if a Titan shifter is in its Titan form, the Titans will still attack the Titan shifter, Erwin explained. That theory is true, Optimus agreed. Eren was attacked by Titans in his Titan form during the Battle of Trost. The Titan shifter wouldn't be able to survive outside of the walls, meaning the Titan shifter will be coming from the walls, Erwin concluded, so the back line is in danger of encountering the Titan shifter. You wish for me to remain behind the formation to try and fight off the Titan, Optimus assumed. Erwin nodded his head. Optimus knew that he had to keep his optics open. The Titan shifter could be anywhere. The Titan shifter watched in the Titan form as the Scouting Legion moved through Wall Maria. She had to get to Eren, but she had to be careful. That metal Titan was the issue, however, she had to avoid him. She looked near her to see a pack of Titans walking aimlessly. She had an idea. Optimus continued driving behind the formation as he quietly scanned the area. So far nothing was wrong. He was just hoping it would stay that way. Titans! A voice cried from the right of him, followed by rumbling. Oh no, Optimus thought as he drove towards the source. Optimus heard multiple loud footsteps followed by the screams of soldiers. He transformed into his bipedal mode and widened his optics to see multiple Titans running towards the right flank. We can't take them on. A soldier yelled. Optimus activated his mask before transforming both of his servos into blasters. He fired at the Titans' heads, causing them to collapse on the ground and knocking down other Titans. What the? A soldier breathed as they all looked over to see Optimus engaging the Titans. Get out of here now. Optimus ordered. You heard the Titan, move. An elite soldier yelled as they continued riding off. Optimus ran up to the Titans and tackled one of them before flipping back onto his feet and transforming both of his hands into swords. Optimus began slicing off the nape of the necks of the Titans. He began kicking some of them in the gut before cutting off their heads. He then stabbed the last Titan in the chest before it slid off of his sword and fell to the ground, twitching as the wound began regenerating. The Titans were immobile for right now. He needed to see if the humans were alright. Optimus transformed into his alt mode and drove off to find the right flank. Armin gasped as the female Titan slammed her foot right in front of him, causing the horse to cry out and knock Armin off of it. Armin tumbled on the ground as the hood of his Scouting Legion cloak covered his head. He slowly got on his knees, but widened his eyes as he felt the female Titan kneel behind him. There was a deadly silence as Armin began sweating. This was it. He was going to die. The Titan was going to kill him and possibly eat him. It didn't eat Sys or Ness, but it killed them brutally. What was it going to do? He became rather confused as the female Titan lifted his hood, causing him to look up at her, completely anxious. She just looked at him with a rather sinister smile on her face. He became even more shocked as the female Titan let go of his hood, before she stood up and ran off. Armin just sat there in a complete daze. How come it didn't kill him? Optimus screeched to a stop as he saw the right flank stopping before transforming into his bipedal mode. Is everyone alright? Optimus asked as he kneeled down. Not everyone, the elite soldier answered. Some got eaten as the female Titan led the Titans near us. Female Titan? Optimus questioned. Yes, the elite soldier answered, we think it was an aberrant. Has it ever been recorded in your history for a Titan to be able to accomplish that? Optimus demanded. No, he answered. Optimus slightly grimaced. That wasn't an aberrant. That was the spy Erwin was talking about. I am going to search for this female Titan, Optimus informed. If you encounter any of your comrades, tell them to not engage it. Roger, the elite soldier said. Optimus transformed into his alt mode before driving away from them, searching for the female Titan. He turned his side view mirror to see a yellow flare shot into the air. That must be it. Jean. Avenge the suicidal bastard who rushed to his death. Armin yelled, causing the female Titan to stop her attack on Jean. Armin? Jean questioned. The Titan stopped. That's the one. That's the one that killed him. Armin blabbered. He rushed to his death on the right flank. Avenge him. Jean rolled on the ground before landed next to the tree. The heck is going on? Did Armin hit his head and go insane? This isn't the time. Jean looked in confusion as he saw Reiner take off his hood and ride towards the female titan. It crushed my best friend. I saw its body right under its foot. Armin continued as Reiner jumped and hooked onto the nape of the neck. He flew towards the neck and almost made it, however, the female titan smirked as she saw Reiner. Reiner gasped as the female titan grabbed him in her hand, causing Armin and Jean to look in shock. Reiner tried to escape from her grasp, but the female titan simply put her thumb over him. As she was about to crush him, Optimus let out a battle cry before elbowing the female titan from behind. This gave Reiner the opportunity to cut his way out of the female titan's hand. Optimus! Jean exclaimed. Optimus managed to catch Reiner before skidding across the ground to grab Armin. Jean ran towards Optimus before he picked Jean up. The three gasped as Optimus transformed into his alt mode with the three in the front. The hell? Jean exclaimed. Optimus changed the gear shift and drove forward, forcing the three back from the force. Reiner kept cursing under his breath while Jean held onto the seats for dear life. Armin looked at the side view mirror as it adjusted to see the female titan slowly getting up and looking at her hand. Armin gasped as she slowly stood up and ran towards the center, rear. Towards Eren. Optimus slowed to a stop near an area of bushes and trees before opening his doors, enabling the three soldiers to get out. Armin jumped out just fine, however, Jean and Reiner were not. Jean was trying so hard not to throw up from the motion and speed while Reiner collapsed onto the ground with relief. I apologize for causing you motion sickness, Optimus said through the radio. It's okay, Reiner said as he took in deep breaths, I'd rather be sick than be crushed. Optimus activated his hollow form, causing Reiner to jump up in surprise as Optimus looked over at Armin and noticed his head injury. What happened to you? Optimus asked. The female titan knocked me off my horse, Armin answered, I'm fine though. You still have an injury, Optimus retorted. I have some bandages, Reiner said as he stood up and pulled out some bandages before throwing them to Optimus. Optimus caught the roll before kneeling down behind Armin and wrapping the bandage around his head. Reiner heard galloping before turning around to see his horse running towards him. Looks like my horse come back, Reiner remarked as his horse came up to him. I'm going to try and call for mine, Jean proclaimed as he began whistling. Hey, how's the 3D gear? Reiner asked Armin as he kneeled down. It's okay, Armin answered, the clasp released as it should, so it's not broken. Glad to hear, Reiner said. Optimus finished wrapping the bandage around Armin's head before noticing a wound on Reiner's hand. You are injured as well, Optimus remarked. Reiner looked at Optimus in confusion before looking down to see scratches and a large gash on his hand that was leaking blood. It's not much, Reiner shrugged off, I'll manage. I will not allow you to shrug something like this off, Optimus proclaimed as he walked over to him and kneeled down, a simple cut can lead to an incurable virus. I guess, Reiner slightly trailed off as Optimus wrapped the bandage around his hand. Hey, Optimus, how are you doing that? It is called a hollow form, Optimus explained as he continued wrapping the wound without looking at Reiner. I can alter it to whatever I desire and use it to interact with your kind. I see, Reiner mused, how do you know about human injuries? Ms. Zoe told me a little about human injuries, and I learned a little from an old friend of mine, Optimus answered. Reiner didn't say anything as Optimus finished wrapping the bandage around his wound. Thanks, Optimus. You should be careful with that injury, Optimus advised, do not do anything that will cause new ones to appear. Reiner nodded his head as Optimus stood up onto his feet. Reiner looked in confusion as he noticed Armin staring off into space, looking like he was thinking about something. Armin? Reiner questioned. Optimus turned around to see Armin staring at the ground, almost looking like he was pondering over something. He kneeled down and put a hand on his shoulder, causing Armin to snap out of his thought and look at him. Is there something wrong? Optimus asked. Armin shook his head. I'm fine, Optimus. Jean, has another horse come back? Optimus asked. Jean took his fingers out of his mouth before looking at Optimus and shaking his head. We need another horse to move. Can you take 2 of us in your caravan? I do not think it would be wise right now, Optimus answered, causing all of them to look at Optimus in confusion. Hey, why? Reiner demanded as he stood up. I need to go after the female Titan, Optimus declared. The longer I wait here, the more time the female Titan has of causing destruction. Armin nodded his head in understanding before turning to Jean. Jean, fire a smoke round as see if there's anyone nearby. Jean nodded his head in understanding as he got his flare gun and attached the smoke round to it before firing it into the air. Let's hope someone sees that, Jean said as he looked at the smoke. Optimus-san, Armin began, causing Optimus to look at him. I need to talk to you. I need you to tell Commander Erwin something alone. What do you wish for me to tell him? Optimus asked intently. Armin, you can tell Erwin that yourself. Jean smiled as he saw something. Someone is riding over here with 2 horses. It's Krista. Is everyone all right? Krista asked as she stopped in front of the 3. She looked in surprise as she saw Optimus in his hollow form. Who's that? Krista asked. It's Optimus, don't worry, Armin reassured. Really? Krista asked in surprise. I will explain the situation another time. I must take my leave of you, Optimus proclaimed before slightly bowing. Thank you for helping these 3. You're welcome, Krista said in shyness. Krista widened her eyes as Optimus' hollow form dispersed into sparks. The horses slightly jolted as Optimus alt mode came to life and screeched its wheels across the ground before driving after the female Titan. The female Titan kept running as 4 soldiers were attempting to attack it. A soldier that was riding on his horse aimed his flare gun at her. Look over here, he demanded, you monster. The female Titan looked at him, giving the soldier the opportunity to fire black smoke at her. She moved her head out of the way just in time to barely dodge the bullet. Now! The soldier yelled. A soldier that was on top of the windmill hooked onto her back while 2 more that was on their horses jumped off and hooked to her ankles. Curse you for causing so many deaths. The soldier that aimed for her ankle yelled. We'll make you suffer a slow and painful death. The soldier on her back declared. The female Titan, however, grabbed the wire on her back and jumped into the air, surprising them all. The female Titan then smashed a soldier into the ground while she smashed another one into the building next to her. She held the 3rd soldier by the wire as he looked at her in fear. Let me go, he yelled. The female Titan was about to kill the soldier, but widened her eyes as she heard a rather strange yet familiar noise. She turned around to see Optimus transform into his bipedal mode and slice off her hand that was holding the soldier. Optimus then got the female Titan into a double shoulder lock as the soldier looked up in shock. What the? Leave the area now, Optimus ordered, and pass this message throughout the formation, do not engage the female Titan. Get on. The soldier on the horse told the one on the ground. The soldier climbed onto the horse before they rode off through the formation. Optimus then let go of the female Titan as she turned and faced Optimus. She grimaced while Optimus kept a calm expression. I will only give you this warning once, Optimus proclaimed, stand down, and I will spare your life. The female Titan didn't say anything as she got into a simple boxing stance. Optimus didn't say anything as he activated his mouth guard. If this was her choice, then he had to fight. The female Titan and he charged at each other and held their fists back to throw a punch. Captain Levi. A soldier began as he came up to Levi's squad, I have a message for you. An aberrant Titan has penetrated our formation. Eren looked in shock. What? A Titan's in the formation. Also, the Metal Titan says to not engage the female Titan. The soldier added. The squad looked at the soldier in shock while Levi raised an eyebrow in curiosity. Is that so? Levi pondered. Petra, pass the message on. Why yes sir, Petra said before rising to the next row. Why would Optimus say not to engage? Eld asked Levi. It's quite obvious, Levi stated, Optimus is fighting the female Titan. Huh? Eren exclaimed, we have to help him. Eren, Optimus made the decision to fight on his own, Levi explained, he chose the fight, and it's his only. Hey, what are we doing at this tourist spot? Jean questioned as they were riding around the forest, we're totally off from our destination and from the return point. I don't know, Armin answered, but the order did come from Commander Erwin after all. He must have a plan. What kind of plan? Jean asked, Are they planning to hold a welcome ceremony for us new recruits at a tourist spot? I don't think so, Armin answered. That was a joke, Jean clarified. Anyway, that giant woman is following us, and Optimus is after it for some reason. Either way, we can't stay here. The only thing I can imagine is that we're going to do something else. Everyone, halt. An elite ordered. Everyone stopped in front of a large set of trees before getting off their horses. All right, listen up, recruits, the soldier began, we are now going to make a counterattack. Draw your blades and wait in the trees. If any titans enter the forest, stop them at all costs. You sir, what are you dash? Shut up and follow order. He demanded before going in the tree. Seriously? What's going on? Jean demanded. The recruits widened their eyes as they heard a loud noise and turned to see something blue fly into the sky. The hell was that? Reiner demanded. Armin looked at the sky for a moment before realizing what it was. Optimus just shot Energon into the sky. He was fighting the female titan. Optimus transformed his blaster back into his servo before punching the female titan, destroying part of her face. She glared at Optimus as her face quickly regenerated before throwing a punch at Optimus, which he quickly blocked with his arm. Optimus looked over at the female titan's hand, only to find that it was completely fine. Optimus transformed his hand into a blade and attempted to slice the female titan's hand off, but she raised her hand and blocked the attack. Optimus widened his optics in shock to see an armor form on her arm, preventing anything form of damage. Diamond. Optimus thought. That was the hardest substance on this planet. How was she even able to do that or achieve that kind of ability? Optimus jumped back as he transformed his blade back into his servo. Blades weren't going to work and Optimus didn't want to kill her with his blasters. He had to use hand-to-hand combat. Optimus got into a simple boxing stance while the female titan did the same, creating the diamond armor to protect her arms and legs. Optimus ended up throwing the first punch, which the female titan blocked with her arm. She then threw a punch at Optimus, but Optimus ducked at the last second before punching her in the gut. The female titan stumbled back before rolling on the ground. She coughed up some spit before standing up fully. The female titan then ran towards Optimus and jumped into the air as she kicked Optimus. Optimus managed to block the foot at the last second, but widened his optics as she punched him in the side of the face, causing him to lose his balance. Optimus gritted his dentures and threw the female titan off of him, causing her to land onto her feet and skid back to a stop, using her diamond fingers in the process. Optimus glanced behind her to see the forest of giant trees. He needed to lure her there in order to trap her. He probably has to keep pushing her back. Optimus snapped out of his thoughts as the female titan charged at him, trying to kick him in his stomach. Optimus dodged that before hooking her by the neck and throwing her closer to the forest. Optimus ran and gave an uppercut to the female titan, destroying part of her face and sending her flying into the air. The female titan fell to the ground before slowly twitching. Optimus walked over to the regenerating body, but widened his optics as the female titan quickly got up and punched him in the face. Optimus stumbled back and tried to regain his composure while the female titan leaned on the edge of a tree from exhaustion. The female titan looked over at Optimus as he got into a fighting stance while her face was fully healed. She knew. She knew that running into the metal titan would mean certain death. She didn't run away, she couldn't outrun him anyway. She was getting banged up left and right while the metal titan barely had a scratch. She knew that there was a big possibility of dying. He outmatched her in every way. She smiled as her eyes gleamed with light. Yet she still felt so alive. Captain Levi. Eren called out. What? Levi answered in irritation. Well, we're in the middle of the woods, Eren began, if the center enters alone, we won't know if titans are coming. And Optimus is fighting some aberrant titan, but how will we protect ourselves from the other titans or get help? Don't go on about the obvious, Levi answered, we can't do any of that anymore. But look around you, those big-ass trees, it's the perfect environment for 3D gear. And use that tiny head of yours. If you don't want to die, think. But what about Optimus? Eren asked, Optimus is fighting the aberrant titan, shouldn't we help him? No, Levi answered, Why? Aaron demanded. Optimus is risking his life to help us. Shouldn't we help him out? Optimus willingly took on the challenge, Levi explained. He made the decision to fight. We go back, it won't help the situation. And besides, you could barely take Optimus on when in your Titan form. What good would it do when you try and help him? You'll just get beaten up. Aaron gritted to his teeth as he scowled to himself. Sadly, Levi was right. When Optimus was training him, he accidentally turned into a Titan, but Optimus willingly continued the training. He wanted to see how strong he had become, but Aaron was easily beaten. 1. He looked over at his comrades and widened his eyes to see that they all had worried faces. Did they not know what was going on? Did Levi know what was going on? Aaron and the rest of the squad widened their eyes as they heard loud rumbling noises followed by a punching sound. They all looked up to see a black smoke round being fired into the air. A black smoke round? Aaron questioned. It's from directly behind us, Oluo realized. It must be the female Titan, Eld said. Geez, what the hell is Optimus doing? Draw your blades, Levi ordered as he pulled his out. If we see it, it'll only be for a second. Aaron looked behind him as he heard nothing but silence. He hated how he knew that there was a threat, but that he couldn't see it. His heart was beating louder and louder as he heard something getting closer. He widened his eyes as he heard Optimus let out a battle cry before tackling the female Titan to the floor. Go! Levi ordered as they continued going down the road. Optimus! Aaron cried. The female Titan widened her eyes as she saw Aaron just up ahead as she tried to fight her way out of Optimus' grasp. Keep moving! Optimus instructed. This gave the female Titan the opportunity to change her elbow into diamond and elbow Optimus in the face. Optimus quickly recovered as the female Titan got up and tried to run after Aaron. Optimus ran after the female Titan before tackling her once again, causing them to roll on the ground. Everyone, cover your ears, Levi instructed. Levi then pulled out a flare gun before pulling the trigger, firing a black smoke round into the air. Optimus quickly looked up to see the smoke round and realized what that meant. They were near the trap. He widened his optics as the female Titan punched him in the face once more, causing Optimus to stumble off before quickly getting onto his feet. The female Titan tried to punch Optimus, but Optimus ducked before transforming his servo into a blaster. The female Titan widened her eyes as Optimus fired at her stomach, causing her to crash into one of the trees and collapse on the ground. Optimus watched as her stomach didn't evaporate. Instead, the diamond began falling off of the area he shot the female Titan. The diamond was probably able to protect the Energon blast, but it probably required too much energy to recreate that diamond armor. The female Titan looked at Optimus with worry and fear. She was so screwed. That shot nearly killed her. She only got lucky because of her armor, but she wasn't sure if it would protect her again. She looked down the road to where Aaron was. She had to get to Aaron. She was too close now to lose, and she wasn't going to let the metal Titan stand in her way. The female Titan gritted her teeth before bolting down the road, causing Optimus to look in shock before running after her. The female Titan looked behind her before accelerating down the road. Optimus gritted his dentures. She was going too fast. His bipedal mode would be able to catch up, but his alt mode would. Optimus transformed into his alt mode before driving towards the female Titan. He turned himself to the side and tripped the female Titan. She fell to the ground as Optimus continued driving forward. The female Titan gritted her teeth before running after Optimus. She couldn't let the metal Titan get in the way. As the female Titan took another step, she widened her eyes as she saw all these devices that looked like cannons surrounding her. She looked over to see Commander Erwin on top of a tree, raising his blade and yelling. Fire! Optimus transformed and rolled out of the way as the soldiers fired the hooks at the female Titan while she protected her neck. Optimus stood up as they continued firing the hooks. The firing ceased as the female Titan became completely immobile. Optimus! Hanji called out with a smile as she walked over to him on a tree. Great job luring the female Titan. Do not thank me just yet, Optimus said, the task is still not over. We still need to find out who his Titan shifter is. That was it, right? Aaron asked Petra, but new recruits like me aside, Shouldn't they have told the Survey Corp veteran like you? Shut it. Oluo ordered. Are you saying that the commander and the captain don't trust us? Petra demanded. And no, Aaron answered, but from the looks of it, it really seems like it. Petra, yank his teeth out. Oluo yelled as he pointed his blade at Aaron, swap his front teeth with his molars. No, it's just as Aaron said, Eld agreed, I think the commander had a reason to keep this from us. Then why? Gunther asked. The one reason to not trust your comrades, Eld began, a transforming human, or a spy, is working through our ranks. Huh? Aaron exclaimed. The only ones that he could trust were the ones who were around for longer than 5 more years. Eld continued. I see, Gunther mused. So that what it is, Oluo said, get that Aaron. Aaron nodded his head. But I found something else odd, Eld added. Odd? Petra questioned. Yeah, Eld answered, I think that Optimus knew too. Everyone looked at Eld like he was insane. Optimus? Oluo exclaimed, Levi barely trusts him. How would he even be on this plan? And Optimus is considered just as big of a threat as Aaron. Optimus was placed into the back of the formation from what I've seen, Eld explained, and at the same time when Optimus was fighting the female Titan, I saw him go towards the trap before the female Titan got captured. And besides, Erwin actually seems like he trusts Optimus. Well, if Erwin trusts Optimus, then how did he get in on the plan? Last time I checked, I don't think Optimus was asked the question, Oluo recalled. Petra widened her eyes. Because I told him. Petra? Gunther questioned. Ma'am, what do you mean? Aaron asked. I told Optimus what happened with the test titans and I told him the question Erwin was asking, Petra explained, that's how he knew. That's how Optimus found out. Aaron looked down as he thought it over. Why wouldn't Optimus tell him? If we knew that there was a Titan within our ranks, things could have turned out differently, Jean said. Armin remained quiet for a moment. No, he wasn't mistaken. What do you mean? Jean demanded, if it wasn't for Optimus, we all could have been dead. Jean, saying something could have happened differently only happens after everything's been done, Armin explained, no one's able to predict the end result. But there's a time when someone will have to make a decision. Erwin was willingly to choose his comrades over the people living in the wall. If there's one thing I know it's this, if someone wants to bring about change, he has to be willing to abandon everything. And that doesn't just apply here, it applies with Optimus too. Optimus was the leader of an entire army back on Cybertron, and he was forced to fight the person he considered brother. Optimus made the decision too, it was either his own personal feelings, or the survival of his people and planet. Even he was willing to throw away his own sanity to try and win the war. Jean slightly grimaced as he knew who Armin was talking about. People who aren't able to abandon anything, are unable to change anything, Armin declared, in order to become a monster, you must be willing to throw away your humanity. Fire! Erwin ordered. The soldiers fired the remains of the hooks onto the female Titan as Hanji began chuckling. How does this feel? Hanji smirked, you can't even scratch it if you get an itch. Moving a muscle is out of the question, probably forever. The more you try to move and heal your injuries, the less you can move. We cannot stay out here forever, Miss Zoe, Optimus proclaimed as he looked at the female Titan and crossed his arms, we need to find out who is in the Titan. Which I don't understand, Hanji began, why is it taking them so long? Mike and Levi attacked from behind, trying to cut off the hands of the female Titan, but she crystallized her hands the moment the blades made contact, causing them to shatter. Armor? Hanji questioned. She is somehow able to create a diamond armor to protect certain parts of her body. It can protect against my blades and was able to block one of my energon blasts, Optimus explained. Eh? Really? Hanji asked in surprise, wait, what's diamond? Diamond is the hardest substance on this planet made entirely out of the element carbon, Optimus answered. Oh, Hanji smiled, when we get back to the wall, remind me to write that down. Optimus didn't say anything as he noticed the female Titan glaring at him. He could have sworn he's seen that face before. Maybe he saw it at the ceremony, those eyes did resemble the one that gleamed with interest. And that face, he must have seen it somewhere in Trost. No. What bothered him the most was that the female Titan had the same fighting styles as he did. The reason it bothered him so much is because this world is very primitive in fighting, yet this female Titan resembled boxing stances. How did she get her hands on those forms? Unless... Hey, won't you come out already? A voice asked. Optimus looked up to see Levi on top of the female Titan's head. We don't have all day, you know, Levi continued. Say, what do you think will become of you? Optimus slightly widened his optics as he grew tense. What was Levi doing? Do you think you'll be able to escape this predicament? Levi asked. I'd wish you considered the trouble you're causing us, but I'm enjoying this very much. Levi, that is enough, Optimus warned. If he provoked her too much or scared her too much, she might pull some kind of trump card. Oh, right, there's something I want to ask, Levi continued, ignoring Optimus' warning. Is I alright if I sever your hands and feet? They'll grow back, won't they? I'm talking about your real body. It'll be a problem after all if you died. Optimus cursed under his breath. That was the final one. The female Titan opened her mouth, causing Levi to look in confusion. The female Titan let out a bloody cry, causing the entire Survey Corps and Optimus to cover their ears. It caused wind to rise up and her cries were heard throughout the forest. The female Titan stopped screaming as there was a deafening silence throughout the forest. Was that its death roars? A soldier asked. Optimus grimaced as he activated his blasters, shocking the people surrounding him. That was a death roar, yes, but he's seen this form of death many times on Cybertron. Many Decepticons who wouldn't give up information to the enemy, they would throw away their own life to keep the information safe. She was self-destructing. What's Optimus doing? Erwin thought as Mike came onto the tree. Erwin, it smells, Mike informed. From what direction? Erwin asked. From everywhere, Mike answered. Hurry the explosives. Erwin ordered. Erwin, they'll be coming from the east. Mike informed. Optimus heard the information and aimed his blasters towards the east side. He saw the Titans and immediately began firing, shooting off the heads of the Titans. A small Titan came in from the west side and began biting the female Titan's leg. So they're after the female Titan, Erwin realized. The Titans are coming in from everywhere. A soldier shouted. Optimus looked around to see multiple Titans heading towards the female Titan. This was bad. Defend the female Titan. Even if it costs you your lives. Erwin ordered. Optimus switched his blasters into blades before attacking along with the Survey Corps. They continued attacking and killing the Titans that devoured the female Titan, but it was no use. More and more Titans continued to devour the female Titan was nothing more than limbs. Retreat. Erwin ordered. Everyone stepped back as they watched the female Titan be devoured. Optimus widened his optics at the horror. That was it? All that work was for nothing? Fall back into formation. Erwin instructed, return to Connery's. No, Optimus thought. This was it. It was over. They didn't have any evidence to the human government that Eren was an ally, or that they had any way of discovering the secrets of the Titans. That meant that Eren would be handed over to the military police. Erwin continued riding down the road with Hanji, a couple of soldiers, and Optimus. They were planning to make their way out of the forest. Why did you order Levi to go and resupply? Hanji asked. The female Titan was eaten, Erwin began, but did you see the person inside get eaten? I didn't. You can't mean Dash. Yes, Erwin cut off, if your original hypothesis was correct, they can move to a certain degree when regaining human form. If they prepared 3D maneuver gear in advance, the person inside the female Titan is wearing our uniform right now. Commander Erwin, I need to speak with you, Optimus proclaimed as he drove up next to Erwin. Optimus, what's up? Hanji asked. I have a theory of who the female Titan may be, Optimus proclaimed, causing Erwin and Hanji to widen their eyes in shock. Eren gasped as he looked at the sight in front of him. The female Titan was on the ground with a calm expression, while the bodies of Levi's former squad were before him. He made the wrong choice. He made the wrong choice and now everyone was dead. And there was nothing he could do about it. I will, kill it. Eren yelled as he bit his hand, causing the lightning to surround him. The female Titan widened her eye as she saw Eren's Titan form appear. Eren let out a mighty roar as he landed on the ground and skidded towards the female Titan. Optimus widened his optics as he heard the roar from a distance. Without saying anything, Optimus turned around and drove towards the source of the roar. Optimus, wait! Hanji called out. Eren continued roaring as he charged at the female Titan. He was going to tear her apart. Chapter 8, The Female Titan Part 2. Eren let out a roar as he charged at the female Titan. He pulled back his fist as he threw an uppercut, but the female Titan dodged it at the last second. She then kicked Eren in the gut, causing him to cough up spit. Eren quickly recovered as he pushed the foot away to punch the female Titan. She managed to dodge each punch as Eren's fist crashed into a tree. Eren roared as the female Titan ran away from him to herself more time for her arms to heal. Levi's eyes slightly darkened as he saw the bodies of his now former squad. His stomach turned and his heart burned in anger and sadness as he saw the conditions of each body. Eld's body in half, Gunther's hanging corpse, Oluo's broken body. Levi stopped near a tree as he saw Petra's body, lying against a tree. Her blood stained the tree and face, while her eyes were completely colorless and void of life. Levi simply blinked. It was just like Farlan and Isabel, they were all gone, and he couldn't do anything about it. Why won't she stay still? Eren thought as she continued dodging the punches. Eren roared as he threw a punch at the female Titan. She dodged it before rolling on the ground and getting back onto her feet as quickly as she could. Eren slowly panted as he glared at the Titan. Damn it! Damn her! He should have believed in himself instead of believing in his comrades. He should have helped Optimus fight her instead of sit idly by and watch. If only he did, then. The thought of his comrades' dead bodies came to mind, before he started blinking his eyes, preventing tears from coming out. His comrades would still be alive. Eren roared in anger as he charged at the female Titan, getting ready to punch her. He was going to destroy her. He was going to tear her to shreds. He was. You are letting your anger take control of you. Huh. Eren thought as he slowed down. The female Titan's arms fully regenerated, along with her eye before she punched Eren in the face, sending him crashing into a tree. Eren widened his eyes as he slowly got up. Why was he thinking of that now? Do not let your emotions take control. Eren didn't move as the female Titan charged at him, getting ready to throw a punch. Eren grunted as Optimus punched him in the face, causing him to skid on his back to a stop. Optimus waited patiently as Eren stood up while clutching his cheek. Eren charged at Optimus, but Optimus simply tripped Eren as he landed on his back once more. Eren panted as Optimus sat down and crossed his legs. Has something been troubling you? Optimus asked. Eren looked at Optimus in confusion as he forced himself into a sitting position. Why would you ask that? I'm fine. You get rather frustrated when we fight, Optimus observed. Huh. Eren exclaimed, I don't get frustrated. You do, Optimus proclaimed, considering the fact that you have been unable to land a single punch or kick ever since we started training. Eren scowled as he turned away in embarrassment. Shut up. Then is it because I am a Titan? Optimus asked. Eren looked at Optimus with wide eyes before shaking his head, no. Not at all. You have a strong hatred towards the Titans. Humanity has put that same label on me, so I assume you would think the same, Optimus explained. Eren looked away from Optimus. That wasn't the real reason. Even if that is not your real reason, you cannot let your anger take control of your actions, Optimus said. It may prove beneficial by increasing your strength, however, you have no control over your actions. My actions? Eren questioned. Your punches will become less coordinated, making them weak, and you may forget to observe your surroundings. You can forget when to defend, making yourself vulnerable. Has that ever happened to you? Eren asked. Yes, Optimus answered, and it has nearly cost me my life. Oh, Eren said as Optimus stood up and held out his hand. Eren took it before Optimus pulled him back onto his feet. "We will try this again," Optimus proclaimed. "Yes, sir," Eren said as he got into a fighting stance. "But I want you to calm yourself, slow your breathing, and focus on your opponent," Optimus informed as he got into a fighting stance. Eren did exactly as he was told as he slowed his breathing to calm his nerves. Eren shifted his feet before charging at Optimus. Eren put both of his arms in front of his face to block the female Titan's punch. Eren then raised his foot to kick the female Titan, slamming her to a tree. Eren stood up straight and tall and let out a mighty roar, not as a threat or out of anger, but as a challenge. The female Titan rose to her feet as she saw Eren get into a rather unusual fighting stance. His legs were spread out more and his fists were somewhat protecting his chest. Something was wrong. Really wrong. Eren attacked the female Titan, throwing a punch she easily blocked. The Titan widened her eyes as Eren suddenly threw a right hook, hitting the side of her head. The female Titan backed away from Eren, trying to recover from the attack, only to be punched in the face again. Eren then sent an uppercut before spin-kicking her in the gut, causing her to fly into the air and crash into the ground. Eren jumped into the air and almost kicked the Titan, but she rolled out of the way before his foot crashed into the ground. The female Titan quickly got up and tried to kick Eren in the head, but Eren ducked and punched her in the gut, causing her to cough up spit. "No, that's not possible. It's impossible. Eren was never that strong, and never knew any of those techniques when they fought before. Matter of fact, she didn't even know those techniques. How did he get stronger?" The female Titan widened her eyes in realization. It was the Metal Titan. Eren was mirroring the Metal Titan. The Metal Titan trained him. The female Titan crystallized her fist before trying to hit Eren on the head, only for Eren to catch the punch. He then tripped the female Titan before balancing on his backhands and kicking the female Titan with both of his feet. Eren landed on his feet as the female Titan slammed into a tree, breaking the tree in the process. Eren smiled in delight within the nape of the neck. It was working. He would be able to defeat the female Titan. The female Titan winced a little as she slowly got up. Eren roared as he charged at her once again. The female Titan threw a punch at Eren, but Eren caught the punch. He then maneuvered behind the female Titan before twisting her arm. Eren raised his elbow into the air before slamming it onto her joint. The female Titan widened her eyes in shock as she turned around to see her lower arm ripped off. She looked with concern before kicking Eren in the face, sending him rolling back. The female Titan looked in fear at her now damaged arm. She had to run. She couldn't believe she was saying this, but she couldn't defeat Eren. Not like this. She needed to go. She needed to run back to the walls. She had to. The female Titan's eyes widened her eyes in shock and horror as she felt a blade cut the nape of her neck. She managed to turn and see Optimus looking at her as his blade was stained with her blood. Eren watched as the female Titan collapsed onto her knees before falling over on her stomach. "Optimus," Eren realized as he stood up. "Are you all right?" Optimus asked as he transformed his blade into his servo. Eren nodded his head as he looked down at the female Titan. Time to find out who this was. "Eren!" Mikasa cried as she saw Optimus and Eren kneeling down towards the Titan's body. She smiled with relief as she landed on Eren's shoulder. Levi landed on a tree nearby as he stared intently at the female Titan's form. At least his comrades' sacrifices weren't in vain. Levi then landed on the ground as he walked over to the group. Optimus transformed his servo into a blaster and charged it as he aimed it at the nape of the neck. Eren watched as he saw the person struggle to get out of the neck. When the person came out of the neck, Eren and Mikasa looked in shock while Levi whipped out his blades. "It would seem that my assumptions were correct," Optimus mused, Annie Leonhardt. "Erwin," Hanji called out, "Optimus and Eren are stepping out of the forest." Erwin and some of the Survey Corps looked over to see Optimus step out of the forest first with Eren right behind him. Levi and Mikasa were on Eren's shoulder while Optimus was holding someone who was struggling to break free from his grasp. "Who is that?" Erwin thought. "Optimus, who's that in your hand?" Hanji asked in confusion. "The female Titan," Levi snarled. "What? Erwin asked in surprise. Really? Hanji squealed with excitement. Optimus kneeled down and showed Annie to Erwin. She looks like the female Titan, Erwin remarked as Annie glared at him. Can I experiment on her? Hanji asked as she popped up behind Erwin. I want to see how her diamond armor works. Ms. Zoe, Optimus began, this is not the time or place. We must return to Walrose. Hanji groaned. Fine. I will transport her in my vehicle mode, she will not escape, Optimus informed. Do what you have to, Erwin said as he walked away. Eren, Mikasa began as Eren looked at her, I'm going to cut you out, okay? Eren nodded his head before leaning forward, revealing the nape of the neck. Mikasa took a deep breath before slicing open the neck, revealing Eren slightly coughing and taking a deep breath. Jean and Armin loaded the last body onto the cart before looking over to see Eren climbing out of the Titan's body. Guess Eren did have to fight the female Titan, Jean remarked. Yeah, Armin nodded. Jean looked over at Optimus and noticed something in his hands. Jean widened his eyes in shock as he realized who it was before Optimus transformed into his vehicle mode with her inside. What was Annie, what's she doing here? Jean asked. I knew it, Armin declared, she's the female Titan. Jean looked at Armin like he was insane. How is that possible? She reacted when I said suicidal bastard, which is something that only the 104th trainees know. The female Titan also looked like Annie. There could have been other factors, but it doesn't matter now. Annie's been captured. But Annie of all people? Jean asked in disbelief. Annie grunted as Optimus strapped her into the passenger seat, preventing her from moving her upper body. Damn you, Metal Titan! Annie growled as she raised her foot to kick the dashboard. She widened her eyes in surprise and gasped as the seat reclined backwards. Ms. Leonhardt, Optimus spoke through the radio, I suggest that you do not struggle, or else I will have to use extreme measures for you to remain silent. Annie gritted her teeth as she looked around the inside of the Metal Titan. She tried so hard not to let herself get captured, now she was in the clutches of the Survey Corps. If only the Metal Titan wasn't here, then she could have gotten Eren. He's so damn close. Optimus didn't say anything as he felt Annie's heartbeat increasing and her fingers just barely trembling. She wouldn't admit it, he knew that, but she was scared. Men, we've completed our mission. Erwin declared, return to the wall. The people of Karen's waited near the gate for the Survey Corps to return. They heard that they were coming back, meaning there were possibly many causalities. It wasn't much of a surprise though. The crowd watched as the gate was raised allowing the Corps to enter, but what they saw shocked them to no end. Majority of the Corps was still alive, only a couple seemed to be injured, while a few others were missing, meaning they were dead. They even managed to bring back some bodies. Optimus heard whispers through the crowd, clearly surprised by the number that returned. He was pretty sure that before he and Eren arrived, the shame and deaths were too great. Captain Levi. A voice called out. Optimus turned his side view mirror to see a man walking up to Levi. My daughter is on your squad, the man said, I'm Petra's father. What? Optimus thought. Before she sees me, I wanted to talk to you, Mr. Ral continued, she sent me this letter. She mentioned that you respected her abilities enough to let her join her squad. That she was going to devote herself to you. Well, I guess she's too starry-eyed to see how her father feels. Well, as her father, I think it's too early for her to marry. If Optimus was in his bipedal mode, he would have looked at the two of them in shock. Marriage? Petra was Levi's fiancée? Oh, Primus, no. It was Elita 1 all over again, but this time. Levi didn't get the chance to say goodbye. Hanji looked at the bodies of Levi's formal squad. They didn't have the cloths covering their bodies, so she was seeing the bodies in their bloody condition. They're really gone, she muttered. In all honesty, she thought that they would be able to make it out alive, but she was proven horribly wrong. They were killed by Annie, the female Titan. But that didn't matter. The bigger picture really was that no one was safe in the Corps. The best of the best just got killed. It was only a matter of time before everyone was dead. She, Levi, Erwin, and everyone else would be gone. It was only a matter of time. Ms. Zoe, Optimus said as he walked over to her in his hollow form. Hanji looked over to Optimus with no emotion in her eyes. Hey, what's up? I wish to ask for you to help me with these bodies, Optimus answered. Hanji looked at Optimus in confusion. Levi stood next to Erwin as he stared at the families of his former squad, Gunther's mother and grandfather, Eld's fiancé, Oluo's parents, and Petra's father. I don't want to do this, Levi whispered to Erwin. We have to, Erwin retorted, there's no way around it. Then why the hell is he here? Levi demanded as he glared at Optimus, who was currently in the Survey Corps uniform standing next to Erwin. He asked to, Erwin answered. Levi just glared at him. What is he up to? Commander Erwin, it's great to see you again, but why did you call us here? Mr. Schultz asked. Erwin and Levi didn't say anything, causing rather worried looks to appear on their faces. Commander Erwin. Mr. Bozado questioned. The door suddenly opened and everyone turned to see Hanji and Mike walk into the room. Do you want us to bring it now? Hanji asked. Yes, Erwin answered as he nodded his head. Hanji and Mike walked out of the room, causing the families to look at the three soldiers. What's going on? Mr. Schultz demanded. Eldjin, Oluo Bozado, Petra Ral, and Gunther Schultz have all died in the line of duty, Erwin answered. The families looked at Erwin in shock and disbelief. Levi's squad, their loved ones, was dead? That's impossible, Mr. Ral denied, they're part of Levi's squad, the best of the best. They can't be dead, right, Captain Levi? Levi didn't say anything as the families turned their attention towards him. Levi tried to keep a steady composure, but that only made it worse. Oh God, no, Mr. Ral muttered as tears formed in his eyes. Eld's fiancée began crying freely as she collapsed on her knees and covered her mouth. Gunther and Oluo's families were still in shock at the information. Hanji and Mike came in through the door with the bodies of Levi's former comrades on a stretcher. They put the bodies gently on the ground as Levi noticed a set of clean seats covering each body. We were able to retrieve their remains in time before the Titans got to them, Optimus explained. What you do with them now is your choice. If you need help with any form of funeral, the Survey Corps will be there to help fund it, Erwin reassured. Can I see it? Eld's fiancée asked, gaining everyone's attention. His body, she explained, let me see it please. Levi looked at her while he clenched his fists. He couldn't let her see it, he had to say no. If she were to see the body, it would be even worse. His body was bitten in half. He didn't want to see her horrified face. If that is what you wish, Optimus answered, causing Erwin and Levi to look at him. Optimus took a step towards the dead bodies, but Levi grabbed his wrist to prevent him from going any further. Levi dash. What are you doing? Levi demanded as he glared at him. Giving this woman a form of closure, Optimus answered. Levi almost scowled. He was getting ready to pound this guy's face in. Levi, let him, Hanji said. Levi looked at Hanji. Why was she agreeing to this? He knows what he's doing, Hanji reassured. Levi looked at Optimus before letting go of his wrist. Hanji better be right. Optimus walked over to the bodies before mentally figuring out which one was Eld's. He then kneeled down to the third one before untying the rope that held the body together. Eld's fiancée walked over to the body while Levi was almost visibly shaking. Don't let her see it, he thought, please don't let her see it. Optimus finished untying the rope before grabbing the clean sheet, causing Levi's heart to stop. He didn't want her to see it. When Optimus pulled the sheet off, however, it caused Levi and Erwin to widen their eyes in shock. Eld's body wasn't beaten and battered at all. It was cleaned up of any form of blood. His mouth and eyes were both closed, making him look rather peaceful. His arms were crossed in an X formation while there were two blades in his hands pointing downwards, and there was a flower in his hand. You must be careful with his body, Optimus advised, we found it in half. Eld's fiancée looked in shock. What did you do? Ms. Zoe and I prepared the bodies for any funeral, Optimus answered as he rolled up the sheet and put it on the ground. We did not wish for you to see the bodies in the conditions that we found them in. You fixed everyone? Mrs. Bozadu asked. Optimus nodded his head. Do you wish to see it as well? Mrs. Bozada nodded her head before Optimus began untying the next rope. Mike, did you know about this? Erwin asked as he looked at him. Hanji told me as we went to retrieve the bodies, Mike answered. How long did you know about this? Levi demanded as he looked at Hanji. Optimus wanted me to help him prepare the bodies, so I was in on the whole thing, Hanji answered as she looked at the bodies. Why? Levi asked. Optimus said he didn't want the families to be even more horrified with the way we found them. He also didn't want them feeling hatred of revenge, Hanji added. Levi looked at Hanji in confusion. Revenge? They can't fight the Titans like we can, but we already know who the killer is. If they found out we know, they would want nothing more than to kill him or her. But it causes nothing more than an empty heart. Revenge won't bring back the dead. It's better to let them cry it out than anger them. Optimus pulled the sheet off of the last body, revealing Petra's body. Levi became rather surprised as he noticed something different about it. Her eyes and mouth were closed and there was no blood on her, but her hands were folded with both blades in her hands. There was a white flower in her hair and a ring on her finger. A ring. Levi thought. Mr. Rel looked at his daughter's body and collapsed onto his knees and hands and let his tears out. Petra, I'm sorry, he apologized, I'm so sorry. Optimus didn't say anything as he put the sheet onto the ground. They were useful, right? Mr. Rel asked. Optimus kept a blank expression as Mr. Rel looked at him with desperation. Levi's squad was the best of the best. They had to contribute to the fight for humanity somehow, right? Mr. Rel asked. All eyes were on the members of the Survey Corps as they remained silent. Levi really didn't know what to say. He didn't know what they did before they died. He just found their bodies. What the hell was he supposed to say? They did, Optimus answered, causing everyone to look at him. They fought to protect one of humanity's last hopes in the fight against the Titans. They guarded him with their lives and fought until their last breath. And if they did not help the Survey Corps directly, they willingly left the walls knowing that they could die during the expedition, but they did it because they believed in a better world for the ones they cared most about. That alone should make you all proud. Thank you, Optimus, Erwin said as they left the building. I deliberately did something behind your back without permission, Optimus retorted, I do not deserve your thanks. I was referring to the expedition, Erwin corrected, if you weren't here, we would have lost more than just a couple of soldiers. Mike untied the ropes to the horses and guided one of them to Erwin before getting on his own. Erwin then walked over to the side of his horse before looking at Optimus. I also do thank you for what you did for those families, Erwin added, we wouldn't have been able to do that on our own. Optimus nodded his head as Erwin climbed onto his horse. You've truly earned the trust of the Survey Corps, Erwin declared, we are in your debt. And you, Optimus said. Meet us back at the castle, Erwin informed, we need to discuss what to do with our captor. Optimus nodded his head in understanding before Erwin rode his horse towards the castle. Mike looked at Optimus and smirked before following Erwin. Optimus heard sniffling before turning to see Hanji wiping away tears. He walked over to her and put a hand on her shoulder, causing her to look at him with tears in her eyes. I look like an idiot, Hanji remarked as she let out a small laugh. I thought I would be used to the Survey Corps losing and death swarming me and the possibility of dying but dash. More tears formed into her eyes as she let out a gasp. I didn't think they would die. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time before everyone in the Corps is dead. Optimus didn't say anything as he gave Hanji a gentle hug. Death is not something to be used to, Optimus said, I have never been used to it, but you must be strong. Hanji nodded his head on his shoulder before he let Hanji go. Optimus then wiped away the remaining tears in her eyes before placing her glasses over her eyes. Be strong, Hanji Zoe, Optimus told her. Hanji nodded her head before giving a small smile. Thank you, Hanji said, I should get my horse and head back, Hanji said as she walked over to her horse and climbed on. See you there, Hanji smiled before riding back to the castle. Optimus sighed quietly before suddenly feeling a small rock hit the back of his head. He turned around to see Levi giving him a bored look. Do you drink black tea? Levi asked. The waiter gave Levi and Optimus their tea and napkins before walking away. Levi then took his tea and drank it while Optimus left his alone. "You're not drinking the tea," Levi remarked. "This form is not designed to have any human intakes," Optimus explained. "Well then," Levi began as he got up from his chair and grabbed Optimus' cup, "I'll take it." "If you drink my cup then it will be your fourth cup of tea," Optimus observed as Levi sat down. "So what?" Levi questioned. "You'll end up throwing up the contents," Optimus explained. "I don't mind," Levi proclaimed as he drank from his third cup. Optimus kept a blank expression as he knew what Levi was doing. He was trying to drown in his sorrows. "So if you don't eat or drink anything in that thing, why did you come with me?" Levi asked. "Because you forgot to bring a horse to ride back to the castle," Optimus stated. Levi gave Optimus a brooding look before taking another sip of his tea. "Why do you drink your tea like that?" Optimus asked. Levi looked at Optimus in confusion as he removed the cup from his lips. "Most of you drink from a cup by holding the handle or the sides of the cup. Instead you hold it from the top," Optimus explained. Levi put his cup on the table and sighed. "I'm surprised you asked that. No one usually asks me that question. Not even Hanji and Erwin." Levi sighed. "Whatever, I was around 9 in the slums of Wall Sina." "Sina?" Optimus questioned. "I thought the interior was where the rich lived." "There's an underground where many poor people live. I was an orphan there who had to fend for myself. And when I was 9, I was able to salvage enough money to buy a tea set along with some black tea. I held the cup by the handle and it broke. Been drinking from the top ever since." Optimus didn't say anything as Levi took another sip of his tea. "Then how were you able to learn how to use the maneuver gear?" Optimus asked. "I had a mentor who taught me when I was old enough," Levi answered, "so let's hear about you and your annoying ass speeches or whatever. Where'd you get that from?" "My mentor, Alpha Trion," Optimus answered. "I lived with him before I went to war. He was very influential in my life since I never knew my creators." "What?" "In human terms it is parents," Optimus explained. Levi just looked at Optimus, his finger on the rim of the cup. Petra and Hanji did mention that he and Optimus were a lot alike, but this was just scary. He then remembered Petra's body and the ring on her finger. "The ring," Levi spoke. Optimus looked at Levi in confusion. "The ring on Petra, why was it there?" Levi demanded. "I overheard Mr. Ral speaking to you about marrying Petra," Optimus answered. Optimus closed his eyes as Levi splashed the remainder of his third cup of tea in his face. "Why the hell did you eavesdrop?" Levi demanded. "Is that some way of fucking with me?" "I have no reason to seek revenge because you do not trust me," Optimus answered as he wiped his face with the napkin on the table. "I did that out of respect." "Like hell you did," Levi denied. "You can't even empathize with me." Optimus remained silent as Levi picked up his fourth cup. "Elita." Levi's cup was almost at his lips as he looked at Optimus. "Elita 1 was my lover's name," Optimus told him. Levi dropped his poker face and looked at Optimus in shock as he put his cup down. "I met her before the war for my planet," Optimus continued. "She was one of the precious Cybertronians to me. I promised myself that I would protect her when the war started. However, she got captured during the final days of my planet. The one who captured her didn't kill her. Someone sent a blade into her from behind, and she died in my arms. To this day, I do not know who took her life and I was unable to earn some form of closure for her death, nor was I able to give her a proper funeral since I had to lead the Autobots." Levi didn't say anything as he looked at his tea. "Why are you telling me that?" "Because I do feel empathy for you," Optimus answered. "Did you get the chance to grieve the moment he perished? And you never got closure?" "No." "Did you ever consider finding her killer?" "I did. I wished to find him and kill him myself, but I chose not to." "Why?" "Because it will not change the fact she is deceased," Optimus answered. Levi slightly grimaced. "It's called getting justice." "No," Optimus disagreed. "At the time, my mindset was focused on getting revenge. I wasn't focused on fighting for my cause, and I would have been focused on my personal gain." Revenge will not bring back those that have been lost. Even if I were to find Elita's killer and finish him, it would not change the fact that she is dead. It will only leave me, with a broken and heavy spark. You know a lot about this, Levi remarked. Wisdom is never granted, Levi, Optimus explained, it must be earned. Sometimes at a cost. Levi didn't say anything as he looked at his reflection in his tea. Optimus truly does understand. He couldn't believe that he was thinking this, but he does. He understood what he was going through. The reason why he didn't trust him was because he thought he would just use them and betray humanity, or maybe abandon them when the going got tough. Instead, he put the weight of a race that was significantly weaker than him on his shoulders. Guess he really is the good guy. I trust you, Levi proclaimed. Optimus looked at Levi in surprise. I don't usually trust people too easily, Levi explained, the world has been too harsh on me to do so. You're different though. You've managed to gain the trust of the Survey Corps and possibly most of humanity. You want what's best in the most bloodless way possible. Levi then drank his last teacup in one shot. So I'm putting my faith in you like everyone else is. Help humanity rise by defeating the Titans. Optimus got over his surprise and nodded his head with understanding and determination. Optimus, you're back. Hanji smiled as Optimus drove to a stop towards the castle. He opened his door before Levi stepped out of his alt mode before Optimus transformed. Hi, Levi. Hanji greeted. Not in the mood, Levi cut off as he walked towards the entrance of the castle. I see he's better now, Hanji remarked. How has interrogation been? Optimus asked. Gotta say, she's a tough nut to crack, Hanji sighed, no matter what we do, questioning, torture, etc., she's not breathing a word. And what's worse, the government wants you, Eren, and Annie, to come to Wall Sina to find out what happened on the mission in 3 days. Depending how interrogation goes until then, who knows if we'll get any information out of her. Do you have any of her files? Optimus asked. No, Hanji answered, I'm doing some snooping right now. May I look at them when you find them? Optimus asked. Sure, Hanji answered, the more help the better. Annie glared at Erwin and Mike as her wounds began to regenerate. She was chained to the chair underground in some castle with no way out. Erwin was sitting in a chair on the other end of the table while Mike was standing next to her. The room she was in was not enough room to transform and run, and that damned metal titan was right outside. She would have been able to crystallize herself to prevent giving any information, but that metal titan was aiming that gun to her back. For some reason the bullets in the gun can disintegrate titan flesh. Imagine what it could do to her. So I'm guessing you're not going to talk, Erwin remarked as Annie didn't say anything. What do you think? Annie thought. Annie slightly grunted as Mike punched her in the face. She spit out blood from her mouth before looking back at Erwin. Erwin, this is getting us nowhere, Mike told him. Annie Leonhardt, in 3 days we will be going to Wall Sina, Erwin informed, if you don't confess to anything right now, you'll end up dead. She wouldn't give over any information to these two. Not by a long shot. Erwin sighed before getting up and walking out the door with Mike following him. Do you really think that we're going to get any information out of her? Mike asked as they stood next to the door. We have to keep trying, Erwin answered, it's only a matter of time before she cracks. We'll try other methods tomorrow. So judging by your faces, I assume you have not received any information, a voice spoke. Erwin and Mike turned to see Optimus and Hanji walking down the hall. Hanji was holding a document while Optimus was holding a tray of stew with bread. Sadly, Erwin answered, she's rather tough. What's with the food? Mike asked, I thought you can't eat human food. It is for Ms. Leonhardt, Optimus answered, I assume she hasn't eaten an entire day since she came after the Survey Corps at the start of the expedition. He'll need the key to her handcuffs, though, Hanji added. Erwin didn't say anything as he pulled out the keys to her cuffs and put it on the tray. Good luck. Optimus simply nodded his head before Mike opened the door and Optimus walked in the room. Optimus is also going to interrogate her, Hanji informed. How's Optimus going to do that? Mike asked. We managed to get her record and Optimus memorized it, Hanji explained. He's not going to attack her physically, but rather mentally. I don't think we're going to be able to hear the conversation with the door in the way, Erwin retorted. Hanji smirked as she pulled out 2 cups from behind her. Why do you think I always come prepared? Annie heard the door open and lifted her head from the chair to see a new face walk in the room with a tray of food. She found his clothing rather odd, but widened her eyes in shock as she saw the same symbol that was on the metal titan. What the hell are you doing here? Annie demanded as she tried to move away from him with no avail. I assume you haven't eaten anything since this morning, Optimus answered as he put the tray in front of her before taking the key off the tray. Annie was going to retort, but her stomach began growling rather loudly. Damn it, she thought. Optimus didn't say anything as he kneeled down and unlocked her right hand before walking over to the other side and unlocking her left hand. What's to stop me from transforming? Annie asked as she raised her right hand to her mouth. Because if you could you would have done so already when Commander Erwin was in the room, Optimus answered as he sat down on the other side of the table. Ms. Zoe has done enough experimentation to learn that you cannot transform in tight spaces. Annie quietly scowled as she put her hand down and crossed her arms. She glanced over at the food before slowly moving her hand towards the bread. Before she grabbed it, she pulled her hand back and glared at him. I have not done anything to the food, Optimus stated. Matter of fact, it took me a while to retrieve the food since many were adamant about giving you food. Annie didn't say anything as she grabbed the bread and began eating it. Wow, she didn't realize how hungry she was. You want something in return, Annie said as she finished her bread. You wouldn't really do this for someone without anything in return. What do you think I would want? Optimus asked. Information about the Titans, Annie answered. From what I have been hearing from Commander, you have been adamant about giving information, Optimus said, however I do not require that for right now. Annie looked at Optimus with skepticism. What could he possibly know? Your name is Annie Leonhardt. You are 16 years of age in human years. You were ranked 4th in the 104th Trainee Corps of this world's military. Your village and wall of birth are unknown. Your mother and father are not listed on your record, Optimus listed. As a matter of fact, your information was recorded around 4 to 5 years ago, near the same time the colossal and armored titan appeared. Annie slightly tensed up as she clenched her fist under the table. How did he get that information? From what I could gather, I have come to 2 possible conclusions, Optimus declared. The first is that you are an associate with the 2 titans, meaning that they are titan shifters as well. The second is that you were born outside of the walls. A place much like humanity's stronghold. How would you know if you're right? Annie challenged, trying to keep her composure. Because you tensed up when I mentioned your information, Optimus stated. Annie widened her eyes in surprise. He saw that? And since you have confirmed my suspicion, I can find out who the other 2 associates are, Optimus declared. I already have one person in mind. You lay a hand on them, I'll dash. The only reason why you are here is because I was holding back, Optimus admitted. There are many reasons as to why, but one of them was because I was under direct orders from Commander Erwin to capture you. Annie crossed her arms and looked away from Optimus. However, I am willing to offer you something, Optimus began. Annie looked at Optimus. What would you even want to offer me? A choice, Optimus answered. Annie looked at Optimus in surprise before deadpanning. Is this some kind of joke? No, Optimus answered. Then what the hell would you offer me? Annie demanded. The first choice, you can help fight for humanity. I will vouch for you if necessary and possibly train you if you can gain my trust. If you choose not to, I can guarantee you will be tortured for information and disposed of if the Survey Corps no longer needs you. Optimus said. Annie was silent for a moment. What if I'm undecided? Then you will be forced to go to Wall Sina where the government will decide your fate, Optimus answered. When that happens I will be unable to do anything to help you. Why are you doing that? Annie asked. Why are you trying to help me? Because I believe that every sentient being deserves an opportunity for redemption, Optimus answered. Tyrants, thieves, killers, destroyers, and you. It got quiet, Hanji remarked as her ear was still on the cup. Do you think he's done interrogating? Mike asked. I'm unsure, Erwin answered as he took his ear off of the cup before pulling it down from the door, but he managed to figure out she's from outside the walls and that she's an associate with the Colossal and Armored Titan. He managed to figure that out. Mike asked in surprise. Hanji grunted in pain as she rubbed the side of her head when Optimus opened the door. Ms. Zoe, what are you doing? Optimus asked. Listening to the conversation, Hanji answered. You managed to figure out that there's another stronghold outside of these walls? Erwin asked. It was an assumption, Optimus explained, however, her actions confirmed my suspicion. A village full of Titan shifters, Hanji pondered over, but do you know where it is? Just because there is a village where she hails from, does not mean I know its location, Optimus retorted. Then what about the Colossal and Armored Titan? Erwin began. You said you had a person in mind. I may be wrong, but if there is a soldier's file with the same information of Ms. Leonhardt's birth and ancestry, then they should be up for suspicion, Optimus explained. I am completely impressed, Hanji smiled. We will continue this conversation tomorrow, Optimus declared. My hollow form has been overused and you three need rest. I have another question though, Erwin said. Do you really believe that anyone can change for the better? Yes I do, Optimus answered. Has that ever been proven? Erwin asked. Optimus remained silent as he remembered the Decepticons that changed before he became one with Primus. Yes, many times, Optimus answered. Optimus was quietly resting in his alt mode pondering over Annie. In 2 days, Annie would be sent to Wall Sina, and she hasn't made her choice yet. He hoped that she would make the right one, but he didn't know much about Annie, so he wasn't sure if she would. Optimus snapped out of his thoughts as he suddenly heard a knock on his door. He turned his side view mirror to see Eren with a rather tired expression on his face. Eren? Optimus questioned, what are you doing up this late? I couldn't sleep, Eren answered sullenly. Can we talk for a bit? Is there something that is troubling you? Optimus asked. Eren didn't say anything as he rubbed his arm. He looked away from Optimus as he slowly nodded his head. Optimus didn't say anything as he opened the door to the passenger seat before Eren climbed inside. Eren sat down and crossed his legs as Optimus closed the door. There was silence between the two as Optimus quietly turned on the heater. Eren, what has been troubling you? Optimus asked through the radio. Eren didn't say anything as he moved his knees close to his chest. Eren, Optimus began. It's my fault they're dead, Eren spoke. I do not understand, Optimus admitted. Levi's squad, Eren clarified, it's my fault they're dead. Eren, you did not kill them, Optimus reminded. Optimus, I made the wrong choice. Eren yelled, I had the power to take on Annie back then. When I was fighting her after they died, I was winning. I could have transformed and stopped her without any of them interfering, or I could have helped you when you were fighting Annie. Eren stopped as tears began falling out of his eyes. Instead I just watched helplessly as they all died right in front of my eyes. It's my fault they're dead. I could have saved them. I could have saved them. It's just like 5 years ago. I could have saved my mom. Instead, she died in front of my eyes. Optimus didn't say anything as he let Eren cry for a little bit. Eren, what happened to your mother? Optimus asked. Eren looked at the radio before silently wiping some of his tears. It was, during the first attack from the Colossal and Armored Titan. When the Colossal one kicked in the wall, some of the boulders crashed into the houses, and mine was one of them. Mikasa and we ran towards the house and found my mom trapped underneath the rubble. We tried to lift the wood, but it was too heavy. My mom told me her legs were crushed, and there was a Titan coming near us. We were both refusing to leave, and then a garrison soldier came. He said that he would take on the Titan, but he got scared and he took me and Mikasa and ran in the opposite direction. I watched the Titan pull my mother from the rubble and... Eren didn't finish the last sentence as more tears came down his face. I was so close. I was so damn close to saving all of them, and I just sat idly by watching them all get killed. Damn it. Eren slammed his fists onto the dashboard as he practically began sobbing as Optimus remained silent. I am sorry, Eren, Optimus apologized, I did not mean to bring up troubling memories. Did it happen to you? Aaron asked through his tears, "Did it happen to you too?" "Yes," Optimus admitted, "it has." "Who?" Optimus was silent for a moment. "He was a member of my team named Cliffjumper. It was a simple scouting procedure when the Decepticons found him. By the time we reached his location, it was too late. Cliffjumper was already gone and killed by the enemy. We were not even able to recover his body. The only thing that was left of him was his horn. But, it was not just him. There were so many others that I could not save. That I have watched perish before my optics, that I could not prevent, because it was the cruelty of war." "Optimus, why is the world so cruel?" Aaron asked. "I do not know," Optimus answered. Aaron didn't say anything before he continued crying and trembling. He kept on muttering why to himself before suddenly feeling a hand on his back. He kept crying as he was pulled into a gentle hug before clutching the fabric from the shirt. After that he just kept crying in the shirt before falling asleep. Chapter 9, Battle of Stohess. Erwin. Hanji called out as she walked up to him, "Optimus and I finished a weapon." She pulled out what looked like a handgun and pointed it at Erwin. "That looks less intimidating," Erwin admitted. "Actually, it's better than the rifle," Hanji smiled. "For starters, it's small, so you can hide it and people won't know you have a weapon. Also," Hanji pulled out a rotating device from the center of the gun to reveal 6 bullets. "This gun can hold 4 more bullets than a rifle. It also has more power." "Power?" Erwin questioned. Hanji placed the rotator back in place and handed the gun to Erwin. "Wanna fire it?" Erwin shrugged before taking the gun and aiming it at a tree. Erwin fired the gun, leaving a rather large hole. Erwin winced in pain as he held his arm and rubbed it. "Yeah, it hurts a lot," Hanji remarked as she took the gun back, "maybe because it doesn't require gunpowder." "It's still effective," Erwin proclaimed. "Can you make more?" "This was adapted from the rifle, so we could make a couple more," Hanji answered. "Speaking of we, Optimus wanted to talk to you." "About what?" Erwin asked in confusion. "Never said," Hanji answered. "He says it's important though." Erwin was silent for a moment. "Where is he?" Optimus was reading a book in his hollow form while sitting on table with a couple of other books next to him. "Optimus," he heard Erwin and Hanji walking towards him. "Thank you, Ms. Zoe, for bringing him," Optimus said. "No problem," Hanji smiled as she sat down next to him. "You said you wanted to talk to me," Erwin began. "Yes," Optimus answered, "there has been a question on my processors that I have been unable to find." "Question?" Hanji pondered. "What's that?" Erwin asked. "How were these walls built?" Optimus asked. Erwin and Hanji looked at Optimus in surprise. "I don't know," Hanji answered. Optimus sighed. "I had a feeling. I was reading through these books and found no information on how these walls were built. They only specify who, when, and why. Your world has very primitive technology, and after the Titan's appearance, humanity's population declined very quickly. With these factors, there would be no possible way that humanity would have finished Wall Maria before it was completely wiped out. And there is a group of humans that have had me on high alert." "A group?" Erwin questioned. "The Wallists," Optimus said. "The religious freaks?" Hanji asked. "The Wallists believe that the walls are gods. A god is a sentient being more powerful than its creation. But the incidents with the colossal and armored Titan proved that the walls are not gods. And the walls did not create the humans, it was the humans that created the walls. Also, would it not be logical for the Wallists to lose their faith in the walls after the fall of Wall Maria and the Battle of Trost? They also do not want any alterations done with the walls. Would it not also be their intention to strengthen their so-called gods?" "What are you trying to say?" Hanji asked hesitantly. "I feel as though if the Wallists know how these walls were built," Optimus proclaimed. Erwin and Hanji looked at each other and back at Optimus. "That doesn't seem possible," Erwin said. "Commander Erwin," Optimus began, "why do you think that Aaron and I are kept secret from the public?" "To prevent panic and chaos," Erwin answered. "Why do you think that the walls have been untouched because of the Wallists?" Because of how the walls were built, Erwin answered before widening his eyes in realization, or what's inside the walls. And whatever it is can lead to chaos, Optimus concluded. Hold on, Hanji interrupted, this whole thing is shocking, yes. But, 1, how do we know if Optimus is right? 2, if Optimus is right, how the hell are we supposed to find out what's in the walls? We can't just drill a hole. Do you think that Annie knows? Erwin asked. I doubt that she has been near the Wallists in order to hear that information. Optimus answered. We may have to find out the secret covertly, Erwin proclaimed. We're going to Sina in 2 days, Hanji thought over, we could sneak into the castle or capture one of the Wallists. I feel as though both are rather dangerous, Optimus commented. For now we leave that aside, Erwin proclaimed, we need to try more interrogation methods. Optimus, can you try to get more information out of Annie? I doubt that, Optimus answered, I do not know much about Ms. Leonhardt or her origins. The only thing I can suggest is to find the 2 allies who have a similar record to her. Got that covered, Hanji proclaimed. What about the weapon? Erwin asked, can you make more? We made sure we drew out the design, and Optimus has the data in his head so he can project it with his optics, Hanji explained. I see, Erwin mused, let's just continue with the tasks. Understood, Optimus said. Got it, Hanji smirked. Is there any way to reduce the force emitted from the gun? Erwin asked as Optimus took a rifle and began taking it apart. The force from the gun is required so it has more accuracy. It simply requires practice in order to be used to it. Can't you just make a gun that has more bullets? Erwin asked. Unfortunately, with this world's primitive technology, I am unable to make that jump in advancement. We must take this one step at a time. Optimus answered. Erwin was silent as Optimus took off the handle of the gun. So there's a world where humans are free, Erwin spoke. Optimus stopped looking at the handle before sighing and placing it on the table. Mike has told you. Why didn't you say anything? Erwin asked. Because it would have caused chaos, Optimus answered, if I were to say that, the people of Wall Sina could have called me a liar and say I was speaking blasphemy. If that information spread, the humans may try to find a way to that world, which would be impossible without the means of proper transportation. You don't possess the power to leave our world, Erwin remembered. Optimus nodded his head. So if you have no way of returning to your world, what will you do after you helped humanity? Erwin asked. I do not focus on that, Optimus admitted, I usually focus on the present, because something that can happen now can easily affect the outcome of the future. Well then, if humanity wins, what will you do? Erwin rephrased. I would simply aid humanity and help them live outside the walls, Optimus answered. You're not even going to try to return? Erwin asked. I've already stated my reasons why I cannot return in the courtroom, Optimus answered, I cannot contact my comrades or find some form of communication to reach my home. I see, Erwin mused before Optimus returned to his work. You know I didn't trust you at first. I find that hard to believe since you willingly shared your strategic information and the plan on capturing Ms. Leonhardt, Optimus admitted without looking up. Erwin remained silent before Optimus widened his eyes in realization. You were willing to gamble on me, Optimus realized. Erwin nodded his head. I got suspicious when I first heard the reports of the armored titan helping humanity, or rather the metal titan. But when I saw the extent of your abilities in the courtroom, it led me to question your motives. You had the ability to kill everyone in that courtroom and maybe humanity. All you had to do was transform, and humanity was doomed, but you didn't do it. Which got me to think, if people were willing to call you the titan that sought to destroy humanity, then why haven't you? You have all this power but you didn't kill anyone. And I kept wondering why. And then I finally realized that you were an ally to humanity. And when was that? Optimus asked. When you were going against my plan, Erwin answered. The expedition? Optimus questioned. Yes, Erwin answered, when you were telling me to find a better solution, you were more concerned for the humans, a species less significant to you. And you were willing to protect them. That was when I knew that you were an ally. Optimus was silent for a moment. Your explanation of why you were willing to gamble on me oddly explains how you were able to figure out who the spy was. Erwin raised an eyebrow in confusion. You think, outside the box, Optimus explained, you look at all the possibilities and question everything. In this world I have to, Erwin proclaimed, I have another question for you, how were you able to figure out the government's secret about the wall? It is the concept of analyzing the situation, Optimus answered. I'm not following, Erwin admitted. I used to live in a corrupt system where no one could escape what class they were born into. The caste system was created for the rich so they could keep their power. The whole system was like a machine. As long as the system functioned as it should, the ones in power will not change anything. However, if there is a defect in the system, or someone who could start a revolution, the government would take action. They would find a way to make them conform, or eradicate them from the system. Erwin widened his eyes in realization. That's exactly what they did with his father. He was the dysfunction in the system and the government killed him. Commander, ask yourself something, can you really trust your government? Optimus asked. This is a bad idea, Optimus thought, this was a really bad idea. Optimus and a couple of members of the Survey Corps were being taken by the military police to the capital in Walsina. Since Annie remained undecided, she was forced to come with them to Walsina. And in order for her to not run off or do anything brash, she had to be transported in his alt mode. Unfortunately, since he was still deemed a little deleterious, so was Aaron. Optimus used his side view mirrors to look at their position. Annie was quietly sitting in the driver's seat while Aaron was in the passenger seat. Both of their arms were crossed as they stared out the window. However, he could tell Annie was very tense, trying her best not to be terrified. Aaron was practically seeping with anger as he kept glaring at Annie. He understood that Aaron was mad at Annie. They've been in the same class for over 3 years while she was deceiving everyone, and she was responsible for the death of Levi's squad. Optimus moved his side view mirror to see them entering the city. It's been quiet the whole time, thankfully. He just hoped that Aaron wouldn't say anything that could cause a fight. Why'd you do it? Aaron demanded as he looked at Annie. Scrap, he should have seen this coming. Annie didn't say anything as she continued staring out the window. You're ignoring me now, Aaron growled, of course. Aaron, Optimus spoke through the radio. You killed people, Aaron continued, you've killed people without giving a single fuck and you're not feeling guilty about it. Why should you care? Some of the people didn't even trust you, Annie retorted as she glanced at him. Aaron growled as he almost tackled Annie, but the seat belt stopped him before pulling him back. Enough, both of you. Optimus ordered. Aaron scowled as he crossed his arms. You still killed good people. Aaron, I said that is enough, Optimus warned. I need to know. Aaron yelled before turning back to Annie, I need to know, why? Why did you kill them? What are you fighting for? Annie remained silent as she continued to look at the window. Optimus didn't say anything since there was silence once again. Aaron was right. What was Annie fighting for? Did she really desire the destruction of humanity? The Survey Corps and the military police arrived at the front of the courthouse, before Optimus activated his hollow form. Optimus, we need to handcuff the prisoner, Erwin said as he walked towards him. Optimus nodded his head before Erwin went to get 2 military policemen. Optimus felt the eyes of the military police, but he didn't acknowledge them as he walked over to the other side of his alt mode and opened the door to the passenger seat. They're all staring at you, Aaron observed. The military police still fear me, Optimus informed, it is only natural for them to stare at me with skepticism and fear. But Optimus, Aaron began, you've proven to be an ally. To the Survey Corps, Optimus reminded, not the military police. I see, Aaron simply said, but why are Mikasa, Armin, and Jean here? They are here to represent you, Optimus explained. Armin also has evidence regarding Annie killing the 2 Titans that were kept captive a month ago. So Annie did that too, Aaron grumbled as he turned away and crossed his arms. Optimus was silent for a moment before quietly sighing. We must go. Optimus watched from the side of the Survey Corps to see Annie being forced to kneel down in her handcuffs before the pole locked the chains in place. He then looked up to see Zachary sitting in his seat. So your mission was a success, Zachary remarked as he turned to Erwin. Yes, Erwin answered, we've managed to capture the female Titan, with Eren and Optimus' help. Zachary looked over at Eren and Optimus before sending a silent nod. They've both managed to minimize our casualties as well, Erwin added. I see, Zachary mused, you've also mentioned that you've managed to gain insight. That was all Optimus doing, Erwin said. Zachary almost seemed rather surprised. Is that true, Optimus? Yes, Your Honor, Optimus answered, her records are a mystery, and were recorded near the same time the colossal and armored Titan appeared. It led to two theories that ended up being true, she is an associate with the colossal and armored Titan, and that she was born outside of the walls. Whispers immediately flew around the room while Zachary looked in slight shock. You have confirmed that this is true? Zachary asked. Yes, Optimus answered. How is that even possible? Nile questioned, humans can't survive outside without being eaten. Considering the fact that Optimus comes from another world, I don't think that anything would surprise me at this point. Levi remarked. Optimus didn't say anything as he looked back at Annie. He looked in slight confusion as he noticed something on Annie's finger. Why is Ms. Leonhardt wearing a ring? Optimus thought. We have also concluded that the female Titan was responsible for killing the two test subjects, Erwin added. Is that so? Zachary asked. Yes, Erwin answered, Armin Arlert was able to discover the truth. Is Armin Arlert here? Zachary asked. Yes, Armin answered. Explain the situation, Zachary ordered. Erwin looked over at Optimus and noticed something off about him. He kept staring at Annie, almost as Optimus suspected something was wrong. Optimus, what's wrong? Erwin whispered. Optimus didn't say anything as he quickly glanced at Erwin before looking back at Annie. Erwin noticed Optimus moving his hand and glanced down to see his hand looking like the shape of a gun. Why do you need it? Erwin whispered. Optimus simply narrowed his eyes, causing Erwin to look over in Annie's direction. He noticed that Annie was wearing a ring on her finger that had a small blade. Oh no, Erwin thought. She had planned to transform into a Titan, here and now. And the courtroom was enough space to do so. Don't kill her, Erwin whispered. Erwin subtly pulled the revolver gun from his side and handed it over to Optimus. Optimus took the gun and held it near his side, away from view. So this is the evidence you have? Zachary asked. Yes, Armin answered, she is also responsible for the death of members in the Survey Corps. Zachary folded his hands as he began to think the information over. Annie Leonhardt, Zachary spoke, you have committed treason and murder. You have deceived the government and passed information on to the enemy. All of these are punishable by death, however, since you have intelligence regarding the enemy, you are still needed alive. As such, you will be handed over to the Survey Corps until further notice. Annie was silent as her head was down. As Zachary was about to send two soldiers to retrieve her, she suddenly lifted her head and giggled. The Survey Corps looked in shock while the military police looked in fear as Annie began laughing. She continued laughing as Optimus moved his finger towards the trigger. He knew. He knew what that laugh meant. He's been around too long to not know what that laugh meant. Annie was going to attack, she was going to run. Annie stopped laughing before smirking. Guess I clearly underestimated all of you. She then turned to the Survey Corps. I applaud you all for your efforts against me. You've clearly won this round. Optimus widened his eyes as Annie gave a sinister smile. But this is where the next ground begins. Annie declared. Everyone, get down. Optimus yelled as he aimed the revolver at Annie. Annie lifted her finger above the ring as Optimus pulled the trigger. People from outside screamed and gasped in surprise as the courtroom exploded. Optimus groaned as he forced himself onto his knees and looked at his surroundings. The courtroom was destroyed. The ground was filled with cracks while the roof and the side of the building. He looked up and widened his eyes to see Annie in her Titan form picking up an unconscious person and putting it in her mouth. Why would she? Optimus thought before widening his eyes in shock. Annie, stop! Optimus yelled. Annie didn't say anything as she stepped out of the building and ran. Optimus heard a groan and turned to see Erwin slowly standing with a gash on his head. "Erwin, are you all right?" Optimus asked as he ran towards him. "I'll live," Erwin answered. "Find as many soldiers as you can and get them out of the rubble. After that, evacuate the citizens in the city immediately," Optimus ordered. Before Erwin could say anything, Optimus deactivated his hollow form. Annie ran down the streets as the wall seemed to be getting closer. She had to escape. She had to climb the wall before. Annie heard an engine noise and looked behind her to see Optimus coming towards her in his alt mode. Annie began running faster, but Optimus tripped her with his wheels. Annie fell to the ground as Optimus transformed into his bipedal mode and screeched to a stop. Annie lifted her head as Optimus stood up fully. She looked with fear in her eyes as Optimus activated his battle mask. "How many are not fatally wounded?" Erwin asked as Hanji finished wrapping the bandage around his head. "Hard to tell," Nile answered, "we haven't even finished digging through the rubble." "We can't afford to waste time," Erwin declared, "we need to evacuate the citizens as quickly as possible. It wouldn't be the best idea to get involved with Optimus fighting Annie." "Where is Eren?" Mikasa asked, causing the three to turn. "Where's Eren?" "He's not here," Mikasa yelled as she looked through the rubble. "Calm down. We'll find him," Armin reassured. "Annie, stop." Erwin remembered Optimus yelling. Erwin remembered waking up after the explosion and saw glimpses of Annie putting someone in her mouth. "Someone?" "No," Erwin breathed. "Erwin, what's wrong?" Hanji asked. "Optimus didn't just go after Annie to capture her, but to get Eren. Annie has Eren," Erwin proclaimed. "We need to go after them," Hanji said. "Levi, can you fight?" Erwin asked. "I'll manage," Levi groaned as he wrapped his hand with a bandage. Erwin turned to Nile. "Get some spare 3D gear for my men. Levi, take the ones that aren't injured to help assist Optimus. Find a way to get Eren." Annie kept her mouth shut as Optimus was choking her. She crystallized her fingers and tried to claw at his grip, which had no effect. Annie then crystallized her foot and tried to kick Optimus. He managed to dodge the kick, but that caused him to loosen his grip on Annie, enabling her to break free. Annie crystallized her fists and threw punches at Optimus which easily blocked. Optimus countered attacked by punching her in the stomach. She tried to keep her mouth shut as she skidded across the ground. Optimus gritted his dentures behind his mask as Annie slowly got up. Eren was in Annie's mouth. He already knew that. The issue was getting Eren out without killing him or Annie. He couldn't make any attacks to the head or face or he could be injured, killed, or swallowed. His blades could kill him, and his blasters were completely out of the question. He had to pry her mouth open without hurting him. Optimus snapped out of his thoughts as he blocked another attack from Annie. Levi, Hanji, Mikasa, Armin, Jean, and a couple of other soldiers landed on the roof near the battle that was taking place. "Why the hell hasn't Prime killed her yet?" Levi demanded. "Because Eren is inside Annie's mouth," Hanji answered. "Optimus doesn't want to land a fatal blow on her because he doesn't want to kill Eren. If we lose Eren, we lose the chance of unlocking the secrets to the Titans." "You mean he's holding back?" Levi realized. "Men, focus on evacuation of the city," Hanji ordered. "Got it," a soldier said before they flew off. "You three, stay with us," Hanji ordered as she turned to Armin, Mikasa, and Jean. "You were friends with Annie. I doubt that she'd kill you right on the spot." "Where did Levi go?" Armin asked as he looked around. Before anyone could answer, they yelled as smoke covered their eyes. When the smoke cleared, they saw Optimus holding Annie in a chokehold. Annie tried to claw at his arms, but it didn't work. "Release him," Optimus ordered. Annie didn't listen as she still tried to break free from his grasp. "Spit him out, now," Optimus yelled. Annie then raised her elbow before slamming it on the side of his face. Optimus gritted his dentures as Annie continued this process, trying to get him to at least loosen his grip. Annie growled. She would not let him go. She's too damn close. She would not let Eren slip out of her grasp. She made a promise to her father, and she would return. Annie raised her elbow once again. Just one more hit. One more. Annie widened her eyes in shock as she felt blades slice open her cheeks. Her mouth opened, revealing an unconscious Eren on her tongue. She then felt someone step on her teeth before grabbing him and jumping off. Optimus looked over to see Levi flying away with Eren in tow. Levi. Optimus said. Just kill the damn bitch already. Levi yelled as he flew off. Annie thrashed around violently as she tried to run and get Eren, but Optimus grunted and threw her into another building. Optimus huffed as some of the debris fell on Annie. Annie had to be stopped, he knew that, but he couldn't kill her. Everyone wants her dead now and he was possibly the only one who currently had the power to do so. But she was human. He made a promise to himself that he wouldn't harm humans. There had to be some other way around it. No, Optimus realized. Annie was willing to kill members of the Survey Corps. Annie was willing to gamble Eren's life in order to capture him. If Annie was willing to act like a Decepticon in human skin, then so be it. He had to do this. Eren. Mikasa cried as Levi landed on the roof and put him down. Damn it, the brat's filthy, Levi grumbled as he wiped saliva from his arm. Hanji kneeled down as she put 2 fingers on Eren's neck. He's alive, just unconscious. We've done our job. Now we need to move to a safe location. Shouldn't we help Optimus? Jean asked. Optimus has everything under control, Hanji reassured. Armin didn't say anything as he looked over at Optimus. What was he going to do? Annie pulled herself from the rubble as her jaw was fully healed. Eren was gone. She had him and now he's gone. She looked at Optimus and growled. If she was going down, she was taking him with her. Annie ran towards Optimus and crystallized her fist before throwing a punch. She widened her eyes as Optimus caught her punch. Annie Leonhardt, Optimus began, today I treat you as a warrior. What? Annie thought, but before she had time to react, Optimus punched her in the face, sending her crashing into 2 buildings. Oh, Hanji said. What do you mean oh? Jean demanded. This fight's turning sour really fast, Hanji proclaimed. Levi, we have to tail him. Levi looked over at Armin and Jean. You 2 are with us. You take Eren to a safe location. Mikasa nodded her head before putting Eren on her shoulders and flying off. Let's go, Levi instructed. Annie felt a shadow loom over her as her face was regenerating. She looked up with her good eye to see Optimus in the air. Annie rolled out of the way as Optimus' fist hit the ground. Annie quickly stood on her feet as she noticed Optimus glaring at her. He stood to his full height and activated his swords. She quickly crystallized her hands and feet as the Cybertronian ran towards her. Annie threw the first punch, but Optimus ducked and stabbed her in the stomach. Annie gasped as she coughed up blood. She widened her eyes as she came face to face with a charging blaster. She recovered quickly and pushed the blaster upward. The Energon blast missed her and instead hit the wall. Optimus punched Annie in the face once again, sending her rolling off of his blade. Annie groaned as she looked over at Optimus. She widened her eyes as he transformed his servo into a blaster. Annie managed to get up and jump out of the way as Optimus fired at her. She covered her head behind a building as the firing ceased. Fear gripped her chest as she peeked from behind the building, only to find that he wasn't there. How is someone like him able to sneak around? Annie thought. Annie heard a battle cry as she was kicked in the face, sending her rolling into the street. She groaned as she tried to get up, but instead dodged a blade that almost went through her head. Annie crawled back before standing on her feet. She tried to keep her balance as she got into her fighting stance. She crystallized her hands and feet as Optimus walked towards her. She raised her arm as Optimus stroked, but gasped as the blade shattered her armor. He wasn't able to. Annie began. Optimus wasn't able to break the diamond armor before, so why now? Why was he able to break it now? The only reason why you are here is because I was holding back. Did that mean he was holding back this much strength? Optimus used his other blade to stab Annie in the stomach once again, causing her to cough up blood. Optimus pulled the blade out before stabbing her arm and slicing it off. Annie looked in fear at her arm. No. No. She needed to run. She wasn't able to take him on. She had to leave to warn the people at the village. She had to leave to protect them. Annie used her good arm and slammed it into the building, sending debris and stone flying in front of Optimus. Optimus covered his face as Annie ran towards the wall. "What's she trying to do?" Armin asked as she ran towards the wall. "I don't know," Hanji answered as she saw Annie run. She looked over at Optimus to see him transform his blades back into hands, but she widened her eyes in horror as he changed his right hand into a blaster. "No," Hanji whispered as she almost walked off the roof. "Hey!" Jean cried as he grabbed her by the waist and pulled her back. "What are you doing?" "Optimus is going to kill her," Hanji breathed. "Well, it's about time," Levi remarked. Hanji growled as she broke out of Jean's grasp and grabbed Levi by the shoulders. "Stop being clouded by revenge and look at what the bloody fucking hell is about to happen," Hanji screamed. Levi narrowed his eyes while Armin and Jean looked in shock. Energon is toxic to anything organic, anything that's not metal. It can disintegrate anything, leaving nothing at all. What Optimus is about to do isn't just going to kill her, it's going to wipe her off the face of the world. Optimus aimed his blaster at Annie as it began to glow. "Fall! Optimus, don't!" Hanji screamed. Optimus fired the Energon, blowing off Annie's arm in an instant. Annie's Titan form and human form widened their eyes in shock, before letting out a loud scream of pain. Optimus and the four covered their ears in pain as her screams throughout the city. Optimus gritted his dentures as he transformed his blaster into a blade and ran towards her. He sliced open the nape of the neck as she fell to the floor. Optimus expected Annie to be fine, but she continued screaming as she got out of the nape of the neck and fell to the ground, clutching her arm in pain. "Annie!" Hanji cried as she landed on the ground and ran towards her and kneeled down. "Annie, speak to me!" Hanji yelled, but Annie continued screaming and she kept clutching her arm. Armin, Jean, and Levi landed on the ground and widened their eyes as they saw Annie's arm. The sleeve of her jacket was gone and the arm was turning black fast. "Annie?" Armin questioned. Hanji continued panicking before widening her eyes at an idea. "Annie, hang on!" Hanji ordered as she pulled out her blade and raised it over her shoulder. "Hanji, what are you doing?" Levi demanded. "Saving her fucking life," Hanji declared as she sliced the arm off of her body. Annie kept screaming and began sobbing as she held onto her bloody and steaming shoulder. Optimus looked in shock as Annie cut off arm turned into nothing but bone. That wasn't supposed to happen. Why? How? Annie's crying became nothing more than whimpers. She curled into a ball and let the tears roll down her face. Hanji huffed before dropping her sword and putting her hand on her chest. "It's over. It's over for now." "What did you do?" Jean asked. "It's pretty obvious, kid," Levi answered. "She cut off her arm to save her." Hanji stood to her full height and looked at Annie's broken form. "We need to take Annie to a prison cell. Optimus, help us dash." "By the Allspark," Optimus gasped. Hanji looked up at Optimus, only to find him staring at the wall in shock. "What's with him?" Levi asked. "I don't know," Hanji answered. "He seems pretty dash." Hanji widened her eyes in horror as she looked up at the wall. Levi then looked up and almost lost his composure. There was a hole in the wall, but inside the wall was the face of a Titan. "What's a Titan doing in the wall?" Jean asked in shock as he looked up. Armin widened his eyes realization as he remembered Annie redirecting Optimus' Energon blast. Hanji almost jumped as she felt a hand on her shoulder. She turned to see Pasternak panting from exhaustion. "Don't let sunlight hit that Titan," he ordered. "Optimus, you were right," Hanji thought. Eren groaned as he woke up, but looked in confusion as he found himself looking at the ceiling and lying on a bed. "Eren," a voice spoke. Eren turned to see Mikasa sitting in a chair next to the bed while Armin and Jean were on opposite sides of the room, leaning against the wall. "What happened?" Eren asked. "You were injured," Mikasa answered. "You need rest for now." Eren noticed a bandage on his forehead and sighed. "What happened to Annie?" "Annie transformed into a Titan and tried to kidnap you. Optimus managed to stop her." Armin answered. "Where is she though?" Eren asked. "Underground," Jean answered. They don't want her transforming again. Eren sighed. Thanks for telling me. Mikasa stood up. I'll go get you something to eat. Armin and Jean watched as Mikasa walked out of the room. So what now? Eren asked. I don't know, Armin answered. I don't think you'll be handed over to the military police, but we can't say for certain. Hanji, Levi began, it's been almost an hour. Why hasn't her arm regenerated? The two looked inside the cell to see their prisoner. She was sitting on the ground with chains on her ankles, left arm, and waist. Her left hand was covered in bandages while there was a muzzle in between her teeth. A bandage was wrapped around her shoulder and chest, but her right arm still had not grown back. The Energon, Hanji answered, it's preventing her from regenerating. But Prime didn't even shoot her in her human form, Levi retorted. It bugs me too, but we did learn something new, Hanji said. That if a Titan shifter is shot with Energon in the Titan form, it does damage to the human form as well. Levi concluded. We still haven't seen the long-term effects, but for right now she's not getting her arm back anytime soon. Hanji declared. Annie didn't say anything as Hanji and Levi walked away from her cell. She hung her head and let the tears fall. Do you have anything to say for this incident? The councilman demanded as he put his hands on the table. No one knew she was planning to transform, Erwin retorted. She was kept underground for the time we had her and transported under Optimus. And you don't think Optimus was allowing her to gain access to her transformation? The councilman asked. Optimus was willing to kill her twice, Erwin retorted. That doesn't prove his loyalty, the councilman said. He has done nothing more than help humanity, Erwin declared. He started a battle in the city, the councilman retorted. Erwin sighed. The prisoner was the one who escaped and Optimus pursued. He never wanted a battle and he hates innocent lives being lost. And how would you know that? The councilman demanded. Because he willingly went against my plans for the 57th expedition, Erwin answered. He was concerned for the lives of Kor. Not himself. His loyalty may be to the right cause, but he has shown signs of disrespect. Stop trying to make a petty excuse to get rid of him, Erwin said calmly. The councilman looked at him in surprise. Petty. Besides, you can't get rid of him that easily, Erwin continued, because he's brought the one thing that humanity has desired in over a century. And what would that be? The councilman asked. Hope, Erwin answered. Everyone in the room looked at Erwin in shock. Optimus Prime and Eren Yeager are the hopes to humanity, Erwin proclaimed. They have brought humanity closer than ever before to victory. And they have done nothing more than help without asking for anything in return. I doubt that they would back down so easily under your rule. They are comrades to humanity, and they are here to stay, whether you like it or not. Meanwhile, Reiner yawned as he made his way back to his bedroom. It was late at night and he had to the bathroom. He hated it when that happened. As Reiner was almost to his room, he yelped as someone pulled him down another hall and covered his mouth. Reiner was about to fight back, but realized that it was Berthold. Berthold? Reiner questioned as he took his hand off of his mouth. What are you doing? It's the middle of the night. We need to get out of here, Berthold proclaimed. Reiner looked at him in confusion as he noticed the worried look on his face. Berthold, calm down, what are you talking about? Reiner asked. I overheard that Annie now officially a prisoner, Berthold informed, and I think that Annie lost her arm and it hasn't grown back. Reiner looked in shock. What? It should have grown back. Wait, who fought her? Who do you think? Berthold rhetorically asked. Reiner grimaced. That Titan is the reason Annie's in that position. We need to get her out. Berthold said. We can't get her out, not with him there, Reiner retorted. Then we have to leave, Berthold proclaimed, go to the village. We can't go to the village, Reiner interrupted, not without Eren. We need to get Eren. And have someone who took down Annie come after us. Berthold demanded, we can't go up against that power. Even with our abilities we're just going to end up dead. We need to warn the village about what's going on. So they can be prepared, so we can take him down. We can't go back empty-handed, Reiner retorted. And we can't get Eren while Optimus is here, Berthold countered. Reiner groaned as he clutched his head. This wasn't supposed to happen. Everything went wrong when he showed up. We can't even complete our mission. And how are we supposed to go back with people in the scouts possibly breathing down our necks and suspecting us as Titan shifters? We have to do something, Berthold said. Reiner sighed. The only thing we can do is wait. Chapter 10, Soldiers. So you're the infamous Metal Titan, a voice said. Optimus held a large plaque of wood as he looked behind him to see two policemen on the rooftops across from him. Yes, Optimus answered as he set down the wood. You don't look as intimidating as people make you out to be, the female one remarked. It is simply out of fear that many demonize me, Optimus explained. Well, you did destroy half the city, the female retorted. Hitch, the male warned. I apologize for the damage I have caused, but the prisoner was trying to escape, and I had to take action, Optimus explained. Well, at least you did your job, unlike Annie, the female known as Hitch grumbled. Optimus slightly widened his optics as he continued searching for survivors. Was Annie part of the military police? He couldn't ask anything about her or they might get suspicious of him. He had to remain quiet and see where the conversation would lead. Why are you being so hard on her? The male demanded. She saw the Titans, you didn't. Doesn't mean she should skip out. Hitch retorted, it's been 3 days, Marlow. 3 days. So she was part of the military police, Optimus thought. If she is an enemy to mankind, she might have tried to gain information regarding the Wallist. It may sound crazy, but she did manage to keep her Titan shifting powers a secret for 3 years. And stop trying to defend her. You could barely even stand up for yourself with our superiors as they sold our weapons to the black market, Hitch reminded, causing Marlow to feel abashed. Why would your superiors sell your weapons? Optimus asked. Because they're a bunch of lazy, manipulating bastards, Hitch answered, before sighing, but I guess I'm like them too, since I joined the MP. And Marlow don't say anything about changing the police. Optimus noticed Marlow slightly scowling as he looked away. I do not wish to interfere with your military or personal issues, but if you wish to change the acts of the military police, you must have a strong ideal and have the strength to move forward with your said ideal. Marlow looked in shock while Hitch looked with skepticism. If you do wish to change the military police, you must have a strong conviction for it. You cannot simply back down when someone tell you to, or run away like a coward. Others will simply think you are a hypocrite. You must be willing to risk what you have, your life, your family, your friends, your security, in order to make a change, Optimus explained. Wow. Marlow trailed off, thanks. Well, what do you know, Hitch began, a Titan knows more than you. Hitch, just stop, Marlow warned. As the two began to bicker, Optimus looked up at the wall to see a large cover over the hole. He looked up at the top of the wall to see Hanji with Pastor Nick and a few other soldiers with them. Hanji told him that the reconstruction of the wall would take place at night time, since the Titans gained motion through sunlight, but he felt like the citizens would question why there was a cover of the wall. Speaking of questions, Pastor Nick would no doubt be interrogated. He knew information regarding the wall that could even lead humanity to victory. But there was also the question regarding if Pastor Nick would even discuss the information. He could be loyal to the government, fear for his life, or even be coerced to keep the information secret. Optimus slightly shook his head. He shouldn't think about it. The Survey Corps will interrogate him soon enough. Optimus widened his optics as he saw Hanji grabbing Pastor Nick and holding him over the edge of the wall, ready to drop him to death. On second thought, soon may not come. Would you excuse me for a moment? Optimus asked before walking towards the wall. Hitch raised an eyebrow. What's with him? Hanji was mad. No, she was pissed. Pastor Nick, this lying son of a bitch squirming in her grasp, wouldn't even tell her anything about the wall just to save his own skin. Do you have any idea, you little shit? Hanji demanded. Hanji! Moblet yelled. You stay out of this. Hanji bellowed before looking back at Pastor Nick. Do you have any idea what we've been through? All those expeditions, watching our comrades get eaten by Titans, coming back empty-handed, all for the sake of trying to find a sliver of hope, to lead humanity out of this dire situation. And what do? You just sit back and watch us die like it's some kind of show. If you won't tell me the truth, then fine. I'll go find another member of your cult, then another, and another, until one of them chooses their life over loyalty and confesses. And you can just go die. Pastor Nick gritted his teeth and glared at Hanji. So what will it be? Hanji growled. Yes, now. Pastor Nick mumbled before letting go of Hanji's arm and raising them in the air. Now. Let go of me now. What? Hanji thought, slightly caught off guard. Your fury is understandable, Pastor Nick continued, but it's not like we did not say anything out of malice. And it's not like my life is that precious to me to cave in. I'll prove it to you. I have already lost my family while I drowned myself in Vine. I am an unworthy sinner who can only rely upon God in order to live. But if I do not talk, then none of my other followers will. We will never betray our loyalty to the king or our God. I'll prove it to you right now. Kill me. Hanji simply glared at the man. All right, I'll grant you your death wish. Hanji, stop it. Moblet yelled. Hanji watched as the pastor began crying and praying to some fake god. This man, coercing him into telling them the truth, wouldn't work. He was too loyal to the cause, to whoever he was listening to. They needed to try a different method. Hanji looked down the wall and smirked. Let's give him a little scare. Bye. Hanji grinned before letting go of his robe. Pastor Nick screamed as he fell to his imminent death below. Hanji, what the hell? Moblet yelled. Give it a moment, Hanji casually said. Everyone heard a noise below the wall and looked down to see Pastor Nick knocked unconscious as he landed in Optimus' servo. Oh, thank God. A soldier sighed with relief. Optimus, right on time. Hanji waved. Hanji, what is the meaning of this? Optimus demanded. Just threatening, Hanji answered. I just needed to make sure that I was serious about taking his life. If I were not here, he would have been dead, Optimus retorted. Hanji, that was a brash and irresponsible decision. Do not do something that deleterious again. Do you understand? Hanji sighed. You suck the fun out of everything. Optimus just assumed that meant yes. I will take him to a safe location. Hanji simply waved him off as Optimus walked away from the wall. She let out a sigh of relief as she sat as the ledge of the wall. So there's probably more than one Titan in these walls, Hanji realized before chuckling. Wow, I never had this feeling in such a long time. I never felt so scared. Armin sat on the bed Eren was sleeping on while Jean leaned against a dresser. So what do you think they're going to do about the wall? Jean asked. I don't know, Armin admitted. There are so many questions, I don't even know if we'll get any answers. Jean and Armin lifted their heads as someone knocked on the door. The two looked at each other in confusion as the person knocked on the door again. Jean stood up fully and walked towards the door. When he opened it, he widened his eyes in shock as he saw Optimus in his hollow form carrying an unconscious Pastor Nick on his back. What the? Jean asked in confusion. Optimus? Armin asked in surprise as he got up from the bed. Do you have a chair? Optimus asked. Jean moved out of the way, enabling Optimus to enter the room. Armin grabbed a chair against the wall and moved it towards Optimus. Optimus carefully moved Pastor Nick off of his back before balancing him in the chair. I hope he has not broken anything. Optimus spoke. What happened to him? Jean asked. Hanji tried to kill him by dropping him from the wall, Optimus explained. You're still mad at her, aren't you? Armin assumed. Very, Optimus answered. The three heard groaning and turned to see Pastor Nick slowly waking up. Where am I? Pastor Nick asked himself as he focused his vision on the three, mainly Optimus. You. Pastor Nick yelled before gripping his arm in pain. You shouldn't move around so much, Optimus advised, we do not know the extent of your injuries. Why should I listen to you, monster? Pastor Nick demanded. Jean growled as he stepped forward, ready to practically hurt the man, but Optimus put his hand in front of him. But Optimus dash. Jean, you must control yourself, Optimus informed, we have already talked about this. Jean took a deep breath and sighed. Sorry. Optimus lowered his hand and turned to Armin. Armin, I need your help with something. Will you come with me? Sure, Armin answered. Jean, I need you to stay with Pastor Nick and attend to his injuries, Optimus instructed. Got it, Jean nodded. Pastor Nick grimaced as he saw Optimus walk out of the room with Armin. Why? The Metal Titan was nothing more than a monster. Why were these children listening to him? Optimus, why are we down here? Armin asked as the two walked down the hallway of the underground prison. Ms. Leonhardt was a part of the military police from what I have recently heard, Optimus explained. Do you know any of her beliefs? She thought the government was nothing more than a charlatan and that they used the people as pawns. Armin answered. Then we can use that to our advantage, Optimus proclaimed as they arrived at a cell. Armin widened his eyes as he saw Annie's condition. She looked terrible. Her hair was no longer in that messy bun. Her clothes were slightly tattered and the bottoms of her feet were caked with dust. Her right hand was bandaged while her left arm was nothing more than a stub. Her arms and legs were chained while there was a muzzle over her mouth. Her eyes looked red and puffy as she lay on the ground with a pillow under her head. Was she crying? Armin thought as Optimus unlocked her cell. Optimus quietly beckoned for him to follow before quietly stepping in her cell. Ms. Leonhardt, Optimus spoke. Annie slowly opened her red eyes and looked up to see Optimus. She slightly groaned as she pushed herself up into a sitting position. Armin, I need you to remove the muzzle, Optimus instructed as he sat down. Armin was about to ask why, but then realized that Annie was probably still scared of Optimus after what he did. Armin walked behind Annie as he carefully removed the muzzle, noticing how Annie tensed at the contact. Armin held onto the muzzle as he sat down next to Optimus. He widened his eyes as he saw Optimus pull out a loaf of bread from his jacket pocket. This was all I could get for you, Optimus said. Annie grimaced at the bread before slowly reaching for it. Armin noticed Annie hesitating before grabbing the bread and retracting her hand. I know I said that I would not start interrogation, Optimus began, but there has been some complications and we require your assistance. You want information regarding the Titans, Annie assumed as she lifted the bread to her mouth. No, Optimus answered, causing Annie to stop as she almost bit down on the bread. I have overheard that you were part of the military police, Optimus proclaimed, is that correct? Annie nodded her head as she took a bite. Then I am assuming that you tried to find out information regarding the government and its secrets. Optimus said. Why come to me about this? Annie asked. The Survey Corps recently discovered about the Titans within the wall, and Wallists seem to know why, but they are not willing to tell us, Optimus answered. Since you and your comrades want the destruction of humanity, you would find more than one way of doing so. And you just expect me to tell you? Annie demanded, you're the reason that I'm here. Why should I help my enemy? Don't you hate the government? Armin spoke, I mean I know that you hate us, but you've always talked about how twisted the government is. Annie looked away from the two of them with uncertainty. Ms. Leonhardt, you may hate me, resent me, seek vengeance against me, but now our interests align, Optimus proclaimed. You want this government to fall, and we need answers regarding the Titans in the wall. If the government shows dishonesty and tries to attack us, we have no choice to fight. And how would I even benefit from this? Annie demanded. They may pardon some of your crimes, Armin answered, or maybe if there's some form of chaos, you could find a way to escape. Annie remained silent as she thought over the proposition. Please, Ms. Leonhardt, Optimus begged. Annie sighed cholerically, what do I have left to lose? There's an illegitimate heir to a noble family known as the Rice family. They are the only other group of people beside the Wallists who know about the Titans. An illegitimate heir? Armin thought in surprise. Where is the heir now? Optimus asked, do you know his or her name? No, I don't, Annie answered, but I do know that she has an alias name and that she joined the military, the 104th Trainee Squad, and that she's in the Survey Corps. Our squad? Armin asked in shock. Is that all the information you know? Optimus asked. Annie nodded her head. Thank you, Optimus said as he stood up. Armin, we must go. Yes, sir, Armin said as he stood up as well. He put the muzzle back on Annie before they walked out her cell and locked it. An illegitimate heir? Armin asked Optimus as they walked towards his alt mode. Ms. Leonhardt could also be giving us false information, Optimus retorted. I'm assuming the Weylists know this information as well, but unless I hear the same information from Pastor Nick's mouth, Ms. Leonhardt is lying. We at least have to try and find her, Armin suggested. There may be a possibility that this woman is dead, Optimus said. Your trainee squad did fight in Trost. So even if we found out who it is, it wouldn't matter if she was dead. Armin said. Yes, Optimus answered. But why did you bring me to see Annie? Armin asked. Ms. Leonhardt fears me, after what I have done to her. I thought bringing you would help mitigate the tension between us. And I also wished to speak with you alone about another situation, Optimus explained. About what? Armin asked. The identity of the colossal and armored titan, Optimus answered. Armin looked at him with surprise. Wait, you know who it is? It is more of a speculation, Optimus admitted as they arrived at his alt mode. But why are you telling me? Armin asked, shouldn't you be telling the commander or Ms. Hanji? Commander Erwin and Ms. Zoe were not there when Wall Maria fell, so neither of them know their appearance, Optimus explained. Also, they have not known them as long as you have, since you were a part of the 104th trainee squad as well. Armin looked in shock. Again? Optimus, are you sure? I told you it was a speculation, but I did find their records to find the information about them to be vague. Optimus answered. But Armin, Optimus interrupted as he put a hand on his shoulder, I understand that you are still in disbelief about the situation, but you must realize that Ms. Leonhardt may not be the only spy amongst you. There could be more, and the only two titans that would be able to count as spies would be the colossal and armored titan. Armin still seemed hesitant, but nodded his head. So then, who would it be? Optimus. A voice cried. Armin and Optimus turned to see Hanji running towards them in panic. Hanji, what is wrong? Optimus asked. First, are you still mad at me? Hanji breathed. Not as much, Optimus answered. Good. Walls gasps crystal. Hanji gasped as she pointed to the crystal in her hand. Nick gasps roses. Hanji, Optimus began as he put a hand on her shoulder, relax and breathe. Hanji began to calm down as her breathing slowed. Now tell me what is happening, Optimus instructed. Hanji looked at Optimus with worry. Walrose has fallen. Connie looked in shock at the titan that was on his house in shock and grief. His home was gone, and his parents were probably dead. What was going on? What was he supposed to do now? Men, we must move out. The superior yelled. Connie, let's go, Reiner advised as he put a hand on his shoulder. Connie sighed. Yeah. As Connie ran back to his horse and jumped on, he widened his eyes as he heard a voice say. Welcome back. Connie turned in horror as he saw the titan looking at him with that creepy smile. Why? How did it talk to him? Connie. Reiner yelled as they began riding off. What the hell, man? Focus. That titan just talked to me, Connie said in disbelief. That's impossible. Reiner retorted, Connie, you're just seeing things. But Connie, I get you're concerned, but we have to keep going. You're a soldier. You have to make the change here and now. Reiner declared. Connie began to stutter before sighing. All right, I'll keep going. Reiner quietly sighed with relief while Berthold looked at him with a worried expression. Sasha continued riding through the forest by herself as she made her way to her village. Home, Sasha thought. It's been 3 years since she's been here. Her friends, her father. Sasha mentally sighed. What her father would think of her now. You do not need anyone else's approval. Sasha widened her eyes as she remembered her time in the Survey Corps before the expedition. Sasha managed to sneak into the kitchen and hide under the table. She lifted her head to see a bowl of freshly baked potatoes. She licked her lips in anticipation. All she had to do was grab the potato and run. She stretched out her hand. Just a bit more. What are you doing? A voice asked. Sasha screamed and jumped before looking to see a man at the door. Shit. I've been caught. Sasha gulped. Sasha, if I am correct, the man said. Wait, how did he know her name? Sasha asked herself, wait a minute, that voice, and he's hollow. Sasha growled as she grabbed a knife and pointed it at him. Stay away from me. The man looked at Sasha in surprise. I'm not here to harm you. Sasha didn't listen as she threw the knife at the man. The man ducked as the blade pierced the wooden wall, and before Sasha dashed out of the room. Sasha was constantly on her toes the next day. Not only was she caught in the kitchen, but she was caught by the metal titan, no less. What if he ratted her out? What if he told the commander that she practically assaulted him? A part of her was reminding herself that he was a titan. He couldn't be hurt by a simple knife. Sasha widened her eyes. But she practically tried to kill one of humanity's last hope. She was so screwed. Sasha, are okay? Connie asked. Sasha jumped as she got into a ridiculous fighting stance. Whoa, calm down. Connie exclaimed as he put his hands up, it's me. Sasha took a deep breath as she lowered her hands and leg. Geez, what's gotten into you? Connie asked, it is because Prime's around. Huh. You get all jumpy when he's around, Connie explained, hell, you hiss at him all the time. Sasha looked around to see if anyone was watching them. You want me to tell you? Yes. Connie answered, before yelling as Sasha pulled him into a huddle. First off, it's a titan, obviously, Sasha began. Secondly, that stupid form of his. What? The weird caravan? Connie asked. He has a human form, Sasha explained. Really? Connie asked in surprise. Beside the point, Sasha hissed, and there's a thing in his chest. Connie looked at her in confusion. A thing? Yes, a thing. Sasha exclaimed. Wouldn't that be where his heart is? Connie asked. Not that. Sasha yelled, there's just a thing. And it's extremely pure. Pure, something. I don't know what and it bothers me. Connie deadpanned. Sasha, you need to chill. He seems like a good guy and he hasn't hurt anyone. But dash. Look, if he starts killing all of us, you can say I told you so. For now, just relax, Connie reassured as he walked off. Sasha was about to call out to him, but sighed. No one was listening to her again. Again. Sasha thought. She sighed with irritation. She needed to blow off some steam tonight. Sasha widened her eyes. Why was she thinking about that now? As she continued on the road towards her village, she widened her eyes in fear as she saw large footprints heading towards her village. No. They already made it here. Sasha exclaimed. They already made it this far. Sasha took a deep breath. Calm down. Panicking won't help you. Sasha arrived at the village as tied her horse to a small wooden fence. She heard low growling as she looked inside an open door in a house. She widened her eyes in shock as she saw a 3-meter class titan devouring a woman's leg. Sasha slowly walked inside the house as she grabbed the axe that was sitting on a stump of wood. As she stepped inside the house, she let out a battle cry as she began chopping off the nape of the neck. Blood was flying everywhere, but Titan didn't care as it continued eating its meal. It's not working, Sasha realized as she continued attacking, the nape keeps on regenerating. Damn that stupid two-blade rule. Sasha gasped as the axe flew out of her hands and pierced the wall. Damn it! Sasha yelled, before turning to see a girl sitting quietly as the Titan continued with its meal. I have to get her out of here, Sasha thought as she walked over to him and grabbed his arm. The mother was a gunner, she accepted that, but she might as well save the girl while the Titan was distracted. The two walked outside towards the tied horse as the Titan finally noticed a good meal walking away. What is your name, child? Sasha asked only to get no response. It's going to be fine, Sasha reassured as she began to untie the horse. What is? The girl asked. Sasha began to stutter. I. Sasha gasped as the horse began whining and galloping from her grasp. Sasha yelled as the rope was pulled from her hand and the horse rode off without them. Wait. Come back. Sasha yelled as tears appeared in the corner of her eyes. Oh, you have to be joking. Please, wait. Why are you speaking so politely? The girl asked. Sasha exclaimed. Why was she asking that now? Sasha looked behind her to see the Titan stepping out of the house and walking. She began to panic as she looked around for any weapons that she could use. She ended up grabbing a bow and 4 sets of arrows. Come on. It shall be fine. We must go. Sasha said as she pulled the girl. Why? The girl asked. Everyone already ran away. No one came to help up. They knew my mother's leg was bad, but no one came to help us. And all I did was sit there as it happened. What? Sasha thought as another memory came into play. Sasha quietly ran towards the forest in the middle of the night. She remembered that there was a set of bow and arrows in the weapon room, so she managed to sneak out and grab it. She widened her eyes as she saw the metal Titan in his weird caravan form. Sasha noticed it didn't change into anything and realized the metal Titan was asleep. She glared at the caravan as she tiptoed her way safely into the forest. Sasha held her breath as she aimed her arrow at the bird. She was ready to let the arrow go, but she suddenly heard a twig snap behind her. She turned around and fired her arrow at a figure with glowing blue eyes. The figure barely dodged the arrow as Sasha pulled out another arrow and aimed it at him. What are you doing here, Metal Titan? Sasha demanded. Optimus pulled the arrow out of the tree as he stepped into the moonlight. I was awoken from my recharge and saw you walk into the forest. You are not supposed to be here at this hour. Why do you care? Sasha yelled, you shouldn't be here either. I understand that, Optimus explained, but dash. Leave me alone. Sasha yelled, I don't need ya help. Yeah, just another Titan that nobody trusts. I don't like ya. I don't trust ya. So back off. Sasha took a deep breath as Optimus looked at her in confusion. I was unaware that you had an accent, Optimus remarked. Accent? What? Sasha widened her eyes with worry. Shit. I don't know what accent you're talking about. Sasha said as she put her arrow in her holster. I'm going. Sasha dash. Back off, will ya? Sasha yelled before widening her eyes again, just leave me alone. But I find nothing wrong with your accent, Optimus said. Sasha widened her eyes in surprise. Oh really? No, Optimus answered, if anything, many would be annoyed by my pontificating. Sasha slightly laughed. Yeah, I imagine. Wait. This does not change anything. I know it does not, Optimus explained, but it almost seems like you are ashamed of your accent. I'm not. But you seem to hide it from your friends, Optimus retorted. Sasha tried to speak, but simply kept on stuttering. Are you ashamed of yourself? Optimus asked. Sasha took a deep breath before sighing and slumping to the ground. Do you wish to discuss it? Optimus asked as he sat down next to her. Why should I tell ya? Sasha questioned. You do not have to, Optimus answered, but I do wish to help you in any way I can. Sasha took a deep breath. It's not because I'm ashamed, it's because I'm afraid. All my life, the only thing I knew how to do was hunt. It was my life, but now I'm in a place that I don't even know how it works. I'm afraid that people will reject me because of the way I act or where I'm from. I'm afraid of being rejected without proving myself. Sasha, that does not matter, Optimus said. Easy for you to say. Sasha shouted, you're some great and powerful leader that won a war. I was not always a leader, Optimus retorted, I used to be a librarian. Sasha gaped at him. Yeah, stared in a book all day. If you wish to state it like that, Optimus said. Yeah sure, yeah, ain't screwing with me? Sasha questioned. No, Optimus answered, when I started the war, I did not know how to fight very well. I had to adapt to the battlefield in order to survive. Adaptation is natural, Sasha. You must simply give the process some time, but it is also not right to abandon who you truly are for acceptance. But they won't acknowledge me, Sasha retorted. Sasha, that is another issue. Optimus began, You are searching for other people's approval when you do not need to. I don't. Sasha asked. No, Optimus answered as he stood up and held his hand out to her. Sasha hesitated to take the hand, but then did so and Optimus pulled her to her feet. Do not look for the approval of others to find your worth, Optimus explained, you must have confidence with yourself instead of searching for another's. Optimus opened her hand and put the arrow in her palm. Prove to yourself that you are capable of being a soldier with your strength. Why am I thinking about that now? Sasha thought as the two continued running, everyday life is trifling. But believe in yourself, huh? I'll try. Hey, she spoke to the kid, listen to me for a bit. It's gonna be okay, just run down this path. Even if you're weak, it's okay. There will be people that'll come to save you. You may not see that right away, but you'll find them. Just keep running until you do. Sasha pushed the girl away from her. Now go. The girl watched as Sasha took an arrow and aimed it at the Titan. Run. The girl widened his eyes before turning away and running for his life. Sasha then let the first arrow fly to get the Titan's attention. The arrow hit the Titan's neck, causing it to turn to her as she jumped onto higher ground. Sasha took a deep breath as she fired the next arrow. If she could blind the Titan, she could buy enough time for her and the girl to get to safety. The arrow hit the Titan's right eye as Sasha aimed her third arrow. Sasha took a deep breath. Just one more eye. As the Titan almost grabbed her, Sasha fired the arrow and rolled out of the way. Sasha smiled with relief as she saw the arrow in the Titan's left eye. The Titan searched for her blindly as she dashed into the forest. Good, now I just need to find my horse and the GI dash. Sasha gasped and stopped in her tracks as she looked to the direction of the wall. She slightly backed away as she clutched her chest in fear. What is that? Sasha questioned in fear, what is? Sasha suddenly heard galloping as she turned to see a group of people from her village riding on horses. She widened her eyes as she saw her father turn and look at her with surprise. Sasha! He exclaimed. Optimus drove next to the remainder of the Survey Corps and some of the military police as they made their way to the Hermaha district in Sina. Hanji suggested that they show the aftermath of what the walls looked like after the invasion of the Titans. She was hoping that it would help Pastor Nick change his mind. Optimus shifted his side view mirror to see Pastor Nick slightly glaring at him. Looks like Pastor Nick wasn't going to change his mind about him. But it still bugged him. Why wouldn't Pastor Nick tell them this vital information? This could help save humanity from extinction. What's more important than saving the lives of thousands of others? Honestly, this whole situation was angering him by the second. It reminded him too much of the Council of Cybertron who refused to change the system for the better. Optimus, Hanji called out as she moved from her seat in the crate and moved to the opposite side of where he was, we're planning to send you out first as soon as possible. We want you to see if you can find the hole in the wall and prevent more Titans from coming through. Understood, Optimus said. All right, we're here. Levi said as they arrived at the gate, this is as far as Pastor Nick and I go. I'll catch up with you guys later on in battle. Erwin told me to wait for him while he brings reinforcements. Optimus quietly watched in his hollow form with his arms crossed from afar as Levi kicked Pastor Nick towards the crowd. He heard footsteps behind him as he turned to see Aaron walking up to him. Optimus, it doesn't make sense, Aaron began. You are not being clear, Optimus admitted. Why he's not saying anything? Aaron yelled, I mean, what does he have to lose? He could help save humanity. Why won't he help? Aaron, I understand that you do not know much of a situation like this, but you need to understand that this is not uncommon, Optimus explained. With the Decepticons, many would stay with the cause out of fear of their lives, sometimes to gain more power, maybe even to go to the side that has more of the chance of winning. So he's just going to let the Titans win? Aaron retorted. Aaron, they're just examples, Optimus answered, but I feel as though that Pastor Nick is not saying anything to us because he wants to remain loyal to his cause. Loyal? Aaron questioned with uncertainty. Loyalty can be very rare with the enemy's cause, Optimus explained. Pastor Nick may be loyal because of the reward he is receiving within the cult, but the authorities may have saved his life in a way. That doesn't seem right, Aaron admitted. Mikasa is loyal to you because you saved her life, Optimus retorted. Eren slightly groaned in defeat. But believe me when I say I am just as irritated about the situation as you are, Optimus commented. Eren noticed Optimus' hand clench in anger. Eren, I will be fine, Optimus reassured, but if he does say no, we are going to have a serious issue. Eren slightly sighed. He hoped that Pastor Nick would say something. Eren, Armin called out, come on, we got to get ready. Got it, Eren said as he walked over to them. Optimus saw Pastor Nick walked under the stable as Hanji approached him while Levi walked over to Optimus. Do you think he will change his mind? Optimus asked. Looks like it, Levi answered, had to beat the reality in his face. Do you think so? I am unsure, Optimus admitted. I'm sorry, but I can't tell you, Pastor Nick said solemnly. Optimus widened his eyes while Levi seemed to grow angry. Hanji groaned. Well, that's just fucking great. We bring you all the way out here and you still won't tell us dilly squat. Pastor Nick, there is a saying that I have learned from another world, even the Buddha loses its patience when tested a third time, Optimus proclaimed as he walked ominously towards Pastor Nick. Optimus, let's just calm down dash. I have been patient with you, Optimus began as Pastor Nick backed away, tolerating your insults, listening to your lies, watching as you preaching blasphemy and deception. You say you want to help humanity, but you will not even give vital information that could help these people regain their homes. Eren, Armin, and Mikasa noticed the situation and grew concerned while Levi watched the situation with an unreadable expression. I do not have to be here, Optimus declared, I can just leave these walls to find a way to my world, or just have never come here in the first place, but I chose to fight for humanity because I believed that it was right. Pastor Nick began stuttering as he bumped into a support beam. You claim that I am a monster, but all I have done was help the Survey Corps. I gave them information about my technology, biology, anatomy, and history. I have not even considered harming any of them. I stopped Ms. Leonhardt from escaping from the walls, and I even saved your life, which under careful consideration at this point, I should have let you perish. Optimus, please dash. Answer me this Pastor Nick, Optimus continued while interrupting Hanji, am I really the monster, the one who has been risking my life to protect a race I barely know? Or it is you, the one who preaches blasphemy and watches his expendable soldiers die like it is some slagging puppet show? Okay. Enough. Hanji yelled as she got in between the two. Optimus, I get you're mad. Everyone is mad. We'll just find someone else you dash. There is an illegitimate heir to a noble family known as the Rice. They are the only group of people that know about the Titans within the wall. Optimus cut off. Armin gulped as Eren's mouth slightly dropped. Mikasa and Levi widened their eyes while Hanji gaped at him. Hanji questioned. No, Pastor Nick gasped, how do you get that information? Everyone's expressions widened even further while Armin tried to stay as calm as possible. The one thing the Annie Leonhardt hates more than me is your twisted government society, Optimus answered, as the saying goes, the enemy of enemy is my friend. Wait, who's the heir? Hanji asked, where's he now? Ms. Leonhardt stated that she was in the 104th Squad Regiment and that she also joined the Survey Corps, Optimus informed. Wait, she's on the front lines. Hanji gasped. Now, Pastor Nick, if I should even call you that at this point, Optimus said, either you tell us what her alias name, or I may just let Hanji kill you this time. Wait, are you serious? Hanji asked in disbelief. Her name is Crystal Lentz. Pastor Nick blurted out. Who? Levi questioned. No way, Eren spoke, her of all people. We need to go now, Mikasa declared as they ran to the horses. Wait, I don't know all of the names of the new recruits, so who is she? Hanji asked. She's the most petite girl, Eren explained, she's small and she hangs out with Ymir all the time. Hanji slightly gasped while Levi widened his eyes. Ymir? Hanji yelled. Ymir rode her horse next to Krista as they made their way through wall rows with their superiors. Ymir was a bit mad at how their superiors were restricting them, but she had no choice but to listen. Ymir, If you're concerned about my safety then I need you to stop, Krista said. I joined the Scouts for a reason. And besides, you didn't join them because you wanted to. What? Are you implying that I joined for your sake? Amir demanded. If I wasn't here then you would escape, right? Krista asked as tears began to form. Just run, no one's stopping you. Amir didn't say anything as they continued onward. I don't have the strength to be in the top 10. I know that, just ask anyone else and they would agree, Krista explained. You told me to join the military police, and you wanted to join them so much, but you still could have joined the Garzian, so why did you follow me? Is it because of my family? Yeah, that's right, Amir smirked, but rest assured Krista, I'm here for my own sake. Krista didn't say anything as they continued riding on. Check the description for the links to the author.